got so quiet. I love that. I've been having so much fun going around, talking to people, welcoming people back, giving lots of hugs. So, catch my breath here. I'm really excited for everybody to be back. I want to welcome all the faculty back, full-timers and part-timers. Can I get a sense of the part-timers who were able to join us this morning? Folks want to stand up or raise your hand? How about full-time faculty? Can I see where you all are? Raise your hand. And our classified staff. We also have, I know we have a number of our foundation members. We have the President Bob Clemmer and our Mayor Julie is here this morning. So wonderful to have you. I know we have other community leaders. I saw Elena Rivera here. I know we've got some educational partners, community partners, and I just want to thank everybody for being here. This is all about the state of the college, and the state of the college is all about us working together, faculty, staff, administrators, community partners, and that's what, in my mind, puts us in a really good state as we talk about the state of the college today. I have thought a lot about what I wanted to say to you this morning, kicking off the new year, and I decided to go out on a limb a little bit and take a risk and not do the usual state of the college, the ones that I'm used to experiencing and giving. And I want to just really bring it down to what I think is the essence of our community college, our Barstow Community College. I will talk a little bit about some of the challenges and initiatives that we will face in the coming year, the opportunities that we have, and some of the good work that you're doing. But most of all, for me, the state of the college has to do with the quality of the relations that we have with one another, amongst faculty, amongst our staff, and the partnerships that I'm just having the most wonderful time building with our partners in the community, our business partners, focusing on economic development for the jobs that we want our students to be able to enjoy when they graduate. So for me, that's really what I want to focus on today with our state of the college. So let's get started. First of all, of course, we're going to start from, I love this, this view. I want to thank Chris Clark. He has a pilot for a drone, which he's got a camera on that. So this is Barstow Community College. I think it's kind of fun to be able to see, we're up on the hill, but we're increasingly seeing people come up to the college and engage in activities with us. But I really, of course, value the infrastructure that we have, the capital development that we have, this Performing Arts Center, our Wellness Center, and some other things that I'm going to show you this morning. But like I said, I really want to focus on the quality of the relationships that we have and really allow you to hear directly from some of the people who took the time to share with us their reflections on their experience at Barstow Community College. Before I do that, I want to thank some individuals who helped put together some video clips, and that's really a lot of what I'm going to share with you today. So Chris Clark and Amir Hagwell, I'm not sure where Amir is. There he is. And there's several individuals who were gracious enough to sit down with Chris and Amir and tell their story, their perspective. There were so many great ones that I wanted to include them all this morning. Unfortunately, we don't have time for everybody's, but I know that these will be going on the website soon. So just really excited to share. I've been just having a ball putting this together, so I hope you enjoy it as well. So starting off first, the most important thing we're here for are our students. So I want to just let you start to hear some of their experiences.
My name is Fatima Abbas. I'm from Jordan, and I came to the Barstow Community College 2015, and soon I will be graduating with an associate degree in natural science mathematics. And I want to say that actually after I took my speech class with Mr. Conrad, I figured that I want to be a public speaker. So I really want to thank him so much for just being my teacher. He was a great professor. And I think that was the reason why I figured that I want to be a public speaker, is because of his support and the way he used to teach us in class. He just made it fun, and he made it that we should love speech and we should never be stressed or afraid of it. So yeah, he was a great person in my life.
So how many I remember Mr. Conrad when I was teaching here. He used to stop into my office, and he was just so enthusiastic. So I can see why Fatima, our valedictorian for last year, felt that way about him. You're going to kind of see a theme throughout some of the students' expressions, and they're so grateful for our faculty, and that's why I'm hoping that this will help inspire the wonderful faculty that we have. Let's hear from another one of our students, our divine Miss Amy Ross back there. I think you'll recognize this person.
My name is Christine Nelson. I'm actually from Barstow, but I live in Daggett. So I travel that every day, which is an extra 8 miles past Barstow. I'm actually taking my transfer classes to transfer to Cal State San Bernardino. There's some classes that I was unaware that I needed for a theater degree, so, which is a foreign language. So you should go. I mean, it's so good if you have a family, and never stop going, even if depending, don't worry about how old you are. Like when I started, I was like 35 years old. Don't get discouraged just because of your age. Go. It's so important to go to college. It's an accomplishment that a lot of people don't get an opportunity to have in other countries. And going to Barstow College itself is, well, it's helped my family. It's changed my family from who they were 4 years ago. We're not the same people. We're out and involved in a community that I've always been part of, but never part of. And I would encourage anyone, especially, to enjoy this Performing Arts Center, because there's so much involved that you can do in it. I'm actually planning on teaching. That is my ultimate goal, is to teach musical theater, to teach music and theater both together. It's to give back with what I got to my community. Like, I would love to be able to come back and teach in Barstow myself and give to the community what I got from amazing teachers that I had at Barstow High School to the teachers that I had here. And I want them to do the same thing. I think the number one thing that people need to know is your age doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how old you are. Go back to school, get that degree, continue to always educate yourself. How else are you going to be an example to your children and want them to go?
Several things that I love about what Christine had to say. I think first is, she flipped on its head the assumption that some people make that going to college means that you have to sacrifice the quality of the life that you have with your families. But, she put it so nicely how it's enriched her family, and her going to school has helped for her to be a role model for her kids. The other thing that I just love, and you'll see, this just comes out in so many of these interviews, how important it is for people to give back to the community. And that is just something that's so unique about Barstow Community College, and I'm just so proud to be part of it. Here's another student.
My name is Melissa Schaefer, and my major, actually I have 2 majors, welding and industrial maintenance. And I've been going to Barstow Community College since June of 2016. And with the CAD program, we're able to do like cut pieces, and it transfers over to the computer for the plasma cutter. And for the plasma cutter, it's literally just reads it, and it cuts the entire shape out as it's put in the CAD program from yourself. Me and my friends have actually taken pictures of each other while we're doing the welding, and the sparks actually make it look pretty cool, but I don't know, I think it's just like science behind it and how it works. Like it's really interesting, like how you can put literally 2 broken pieces of metal back together and it be sealed. Like I think it's just really interesting, like how.
So with Melissa, you know, you see, first of all, I mean, you know, the average person walking down the street sees Melissa and they might make assumptions because she dresses differently and the tattoos and all of that. But what I love about Barstow Community College, we're so inclusive. And look at her, I mean, the engagement, the excitement about learning how to do welding and the curiosity about the chemical processes. I think that's just another really cool thing that we're creating that experience for our students. Next, I got to meet this student last year. It was part of the President's Circle luncheon, and she's just a delight. I'm sure you can enjoy.
My name is Amira Segrist. I am currently studying psychology here at Barstow Community College, and this coming fall will be my third full-time semester at Barstow. What I've enjoyed most about Barstow Community College is the opportunities it has given me to expand to new horizons and to be able to be more confident in my music and in my learning and just overall improve myself. Barstow Community College is unique in the way that it's kind of this hidden gym in the middle of nowhere. And it has this beautiful performing arts center, and the teachers are great, and the classes are small, and you feel like you matter as a student. You're not kind of hidden in a swarm of a bunch of students, but you're actually able to connect with the teachers and to be able to learn and to grow. Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I feel my life around me. But I go older, even children get older, and I'm getting older too. Hold on to the memories, they will hold on to you. Hold on to the memories, they will hold on to you. Hold on to the memories, they will hold on to you. I will hold on to you.
Young woman, right? I mean, what talent. For me, what this says, look at the youth in Barstow and how this facility and teachers are helping this kind of talent flourish and be cultivated. Pretty cool. And Landslide, I mean, that's one of my all-time favorite songs. So I can watch this over and over again just for that segment. So, many more student voices, of course, but now I want to talk about and share with you some voices from faculty. I want to start off with a person that I've gotten to know this year, and I'm just so humbled and grateful to work with her. Our faculty leader, our academic senate president, Nancy Gill. Nancy, it's okay.
I just totally enjoy what I'm doing. I think for me, it's about sharing what I've learned in the classroom with working with young children and families. It's about some of the specialization that I learned with behavioral and children with disabilities, and being able to share that with my students now. And it really comes to light in the practicum class, which is the capstone course, but it's the class that my students can go into the field and they start demonstrating everything they've been learning. It's about reaching out to my students, and it's making a difference in not only my students' lives, but watching them and having them come back and say, Miss Nance, I did that. I tried this and it worked. The kids loved it. And this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. That's what it's about. It's making that difference, and it's about caring. And I really care about my students here at the college, whether they're child development majors or not. It doesn't matter. I'm going to invest just as much in every student that walks through my door. I would like to just thank all the students who have come to Barstow Community College, and I challenge them to share it with 5 other students and what their experiences have been here, because I really believe that we have so much to offer, and we're that little flower in the desert that nobody's really seen bloom. And I feel that we can bloom all through California. So I feel that and the fact that this is only a stepping stone for you. Community college is a stepping stone to either getting a job or going to a 4-year college. Stay true to yourself and get your career choice, whichever it is, and don't look back. Just keep going forward, because we only live once. Do it to your full potential.
For those of you who are visitors who don't know some of our instructors, I mean, that is the epitome of the heart of what goes into our classrooms, and just the sense of purpose. I'm just awe-inspired and so grateful for that kind of attitude that you bring. So now, as we're all continuing to wipe our eyes from that, thank you, Nance. The next one, I thought I would bring in one of our amazing counselors who provides a great sense of comfort, helpfulness, and kindness to our students.
Hola, me llamo Eduardo Vázquez, soy trabajo aquí en Barstow Community College como consejero. Yo he estado trabajando aquí en Barstow Community College por 3 años ahora. You know, Barstow Community College is a great place. Again, there's a lot of positive feelings in the air and everything. So I think this is, and I think people are here to willing to do work. I think a lot of people, you know, when they come from other colleges to Barstow Community College, they could really see the big difference in how people treat them. They're not so much treated as a number, but as an individual. And people are always willing to help out, whether it be asking for directions on how to get to a classroom, or to look for different services like tutoring, or, you know, I know that we have an excellent UOPS program and CalWorks and Care and all of those programs as well. So there's no, you can get anything you want to get done here at Barstow Community College that you can get at most other colleges.
Eduardo, and I love how you give props to your colleagues. So next, I want to introduce a faculty member in our career technical education program, the welding program. But before I do that, I just want to share one of the most exciting things for us this year is, many of you know, we've been working to renovate the old fitness center, this direction corner of the college. And this photo was taken this Monday when we had the first cohort of BNSF students start their program. So you can see, get this thing to work. I really just want to acknowledge a number of individuals to make this happen, because, you know, Barstow is really a railroad town, right? And there's probably many of you who have relatives who've been employed by BNSF or Santa Fe in the older days. It's just something that's really key, and I think that we are partly honoring the tradition of Barstow by having contract education now on campus. But I want to honor, first of all, past Mayor Lawrence Dale. He was critical in bringing some of the leaders of BNSF, along with businessman Mike Lewis, to meet with us to get working on this project. You can see hiding in the background is Dean Sandy Thomas, who has been just working like crazy with her staff, I see James Lee right next to her. And he is here, the instructor. I do see him here. I'm so happy. Todd, you're hiding just as much right there. But I was so proud when they came on Monday, big weeks from the corporate headquarters of BNSF, and they shared with us how impressed they are with this facility. And I want to credit also Dr. Brenda Findley, Rick Hernandez, Lucas, gonna get your name wrong. I hope I don't mispronounce it, Luke. Maja Rao and Jeff Bowen and other members of MNO to get this facility ready for us. But they were so impressed, and there's some other people I'm gonna mention in a minute too. But they said that they have other training facilities at other community colleges in the state, Kansas City and in Colorado. And they felt that this was the nicest facility that they have now to send them. It's just great, and I'd like to share with you a little bit of the progression of all the work that was happening over summer. So you can see initially on the bottom here where we cleared out all of the fitness equipment and got to work on cleaning things up. One of the things that's really cool about this project, here you see it in process, where there's individual welding booths for the students, and those were fabricated by our very own instructors, and they brought their students in to assist with that so they would get real life experience. So I want to now just thank, of course, Todd Bartholow for your leadership with all of that work. Also, Richard Bremen, welding instructor, Cody Jeffers, Kim Lytle, Joshua O'Neill, Joseph Williams, and Brian Packer, all instructors. And of course, Dean Thomas attending to every single detail. Her and James over there. I just love this, right? Like their uniforms were sitting there already waiting for them to come on Monday morning. So these are 2-week intensive programs where this first cohort, I think I've got a picture of them here. This is the first cohort of BNSF employees. And what's really cool is that these are Barstow residents. So now instead of having to travel to Kansas City or elsewhere, they get to have their certification, their upgrade, their training right here in Barstow. So we anticipate we're going to be drawing employees from all over Southern California. This is a big deal for us. It's contract education, but we think that it's going to expand into credit programs, and I think it can be a real great turning point and part of our vision for making Barstow Community College a real leader in economic development for our community. So I just please everybody a round of applause.
My name is Todd Bartholow. I'm a full-time welding instructor. I have an associate's degree in welding from San Bernardino Valley College. I'm also a certified welding inspector. I originally came to Barstow to teach at the high school, and I ultimately ended up at the college full-time. So we offer certification through the American Welding Society. We have certified welding inspectors on site. So we offer certification in shielded metal arc, gas metal arc, and gas tungsten arc on various base metals, mild steel, aluminum. The first thing I would say is we have an amazing facility here. Unfortunately, not enough people know about it. We have great equipment. We're opening up a new welding shop. We have great instructors. Welding is really a skill if you're looking to go into the trades, and even if you're not, it's just a great skill to have. We're moving to hybrid classes, so that's really going to allow for more flexible scheduling. So if you're interested in just signing up for welding, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to become a welder. It's just a skill you can acquire in addition to the shielded metal arc and gas metal arc and gas tungsten arc. We do CAD, computer-aided design, learn how to operate a CNC plasma cutter. We have a pipe bender, we have other equipment, so it's not just running a bead and welding. There's fabrication, there's learning how to interpret and make your own prints, as well as some of the more advanced concepts in manufacturing, like prototyping and those sorts of things. So it's we teach pretty broad subject matter as it relates to welding. What is it just welding?
Thank you, Todd. You know, I just want to comment, about, you can see how great our CTE program is continuing to evolve. And I just want to share one of my commitments to the community and to the college is to keep helping everybody think about how, sophisticated CTE is. I think that, there's an issue around the nation. We continue to think about the division between academic programs and career technical education. And I think we've done our communities, our students a disservice and ourselves a disservice, because really, when you think about it, for us to be a thriving, relevant community college, we need to think about all of the applications for all of our disciplines. And I know when I was teaching anthropology, one of the things I realized after having gone to school for 10 years and learning the theoretical aspects of anthropology, I really wasn't serving students to the extent that I could without keeping up on the new GPS technology and recognizing that most jobs for students who major in anthropology are not teaching anthropology. It's actually going out in the field doing environmental impact studies. And in order to do that and to be employable, students need to learn how to use that technology. So that was something that was, I could see students really enjoy learning about those things. And it made me, feel like I was doing a better service to students. So I think that's the vision for moving this college forward, where that division just goes away and we just think about constantly being relevant, incorporating technology into the programs that we have. In our CTE area, I think just really demonstrates that level of sophistication, whether our students are more heady and academic or more applied. We need all of those skills for our society and for our community. So that's part of the vision moving forward. In terms of faculty, I just want to make sure that everybody understands our commitment to Fort Irwin. I want to thank, there's been a group that I established last spring to talk about how can we continue to support Fort Irwin and do more out there, because we are so blessed and honored to be able to serve our military in this community. So this semester, we will be taking the recommendations from that group and moving forward with a variety of different things to enhance what we do at Fort Irwin. But I also just wanted to point out one very special instructor. He's not able to be here this morning because he's, adapting his schedule to the schedule of the soldiers. So he has got a class of students that he's teaching right now. And if this is being filmed, I want to say hi, Mr. Norton and his wife, Mrs. Norton, because they're a team out there. And if you ever have the chance to meet them, this is like such a moving experience to go out there. Mr. Norton teaches, the military refers to it as BSEP, Basic Skills Educational Program. We call it Communications 160, and it's a 3-week intensive course where he helps students develop their foundational skills. And he's taking a range of students who are not college ready yet. But I've been invited to go out a couple of times, and I'll tell you, when you learn what happens in that class in 3 weeks, he takes those students' test scores. They're at a level that is not enabling them to get career advancements within the military. And he does an amazing job. Some of these students, they told me, now these are guys and women who've been deployed. They said Mr. Norton's class was the most grueling, most difficult experience they've ever had in their life. He holds up to quite a program, and his dedication is amazing. I mean, he's taking phone calls at midnight, and I don't say that, I don't recommend that. But again, he's just another faculty member that we have who is so amazingly committed. And this program, you may not know it, but it has a reputation throughout the nation. There are soldiers coming to Barstow Community College at Fort Irwin because they know if they get into Mr. Norton's class, they will raise their scores to a level that their lives open up amazingly for themselves and their families. So this is one of our very own, Mr. Norton. And here he is. Obviously, the military thinks very highly of him as well. This was a couple years ago where he was honored by one of the, I really need to learn more about the different levels of the Command Sergeant Major, I think, is honoring Mr. Norton. So very special person. And here I told you a little bit about the program. Also, it's an exciting time for me as a new superintendent president. They have a new educational services officer out there, Dr. Deborah Wales, and we're working really closely with her to see what more we can do to get more students and to just enhance that offering. We know we've got some staffing, some resources that we need to address to really be able to give to the soldiers and their dependents what they deserve. So that's another exciting thing for us. And you may have seen on our college website, Dr. Beverly Randy. This is such an exciting thing, and she won't say it about herself, so I made Chris go interview her and post this press release on our website. I want you to know that Dr. Randy has been invited to attend a national conference, the American Association for the Advancement of Science. And this is just a testament of the quality of our instructors, the scholarship that they have. This was a competitive process to be able to be invited to this workshop. Dr. Randy competed with advanced placement high school instructors, community college instructors, and university teachers as well. And she got in, and it sounds like such a wonderful opportunity where it sounds like you're going to be learning about how to help students engage in primary literature research. And what I love, what it sounds like, and I want to hear more about it from you, Beth, is you're really helping to enculturate students into the practice of being a scientist. So that is so cool, right? I mean, it's not just the academics of it, the theory of it. You're modeling for them how to become a biologist or a scientist. So that's just fantastic. Congratulations to you. So we look forward to hearing how you bring that into the classroom and sharing it with all of us. So next I want to allow some of our staff to speak to you. First of all, I want to acknowledge my executive team. We're a small group, but we're mighty, I feel, and very dedicated to this college. For the faculty, when you left after graduation, you may not have gotten the email that I had sent out. So for those of you who don't know, I just want you to know that we have been honored for Vice President Karen Kane, who I was able to bend her arm and bring her out of retirement. Karen has just a great deal of experience. She's lived her whole life in community college as an administrator, as a faculty leader, Senate president. She's overseen academic Senate curriculum, been a department chair, coordinator of professional development, a marketing executive. I mean, we were so lucky to have her expertise. And what I've had so much fun is hearing how Karen tells me almost daily how wonderful the people are here. And I think that she's kind of fallen in love with all of you in our community. And just really happy to have her leadership. She's got a very big job because she is taken on Vice President of Academic Affairs and Student Services this semester. So I just want to thank you, Karen, for coming. And many of you have had the pleasure of dealing with our Vice President of Human Resources. I just want to say Lyle Engeldinger. Again. Sitting next to him is a student. That's right. As he lovingly refers to Alejandro, a student. They're inseparable, I think. But Lyle's another individual who came out of retirement, and I've just been so amazed the heart that he has for this community. I mean, he receives lots of complaints and issues. He welcomes those. He's very solution-oriented, doesn't want to leave things lie. But I think one of his big passions that I am so excited is his interest in colleges as learning organizations. And he is so creative and dedicated to providing the best professional development for not only students as their student workers, our classified staff, our management staff, and I learn a lot from him every day as well. So we're really lucky to have him also. And Dr. Brenda Findley over Where's Brenda? There she is. Our money in order, our capital outlay projects, IT, you've got a big job as well. So I just thank you. These folks do an awful lot for the college, often behind the scenes, and they're very dedicated. I'm very appreciative of them. Also have wonderful deans. Can I get the deans to raise their hand? Bunch of wonderful, dedicated managers, supervisors. Can I get you to raise your hand? So let me go ahead and get started. And one of the first interviews we have from one of our beloved deans.
I think just like what caught me when I kind of stumbled into education was, you know, it was a satisfaction from helping a student graduate, or it's when that letter came on the mail that says, you know, I landed a great job thanks to you, or things like that, or it's seeing a student when the light bulb goes up and they get it, whatever it is that you were trying to explain to them. Or even a faculty member saying, oh yes, this is a good way of doing things, or this is a good process. So it's that kind of that satisfaction that you're actually truly helping somebody, you know, whether it's life changing or it's just bettering their situation. That to me is really, you know, very satisfying. That's kind of what drives me to, you know, to stay in education and continue what I'm doing here in education.
You know, for those of you outside the college, you don't realize half of our enrollment is through distance learning, and that's under the leadership of Dean Tim Botangan and his wonderful staff. So thank you, Tim. Now I want to share a bit from some voices from our classified professionals. Just wonderful things to say. You know, I've thought about, you know, being able to highlight some of our programs, some of our flagship things that we do here, and I realized that nobody can explain what we offer here better than our staff. So let me introduce someone who's sitting right here.
We do have several associate degrees for transfer. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but there's like art history, English, psychology, sociology, business administration. And what that degree does is guarantee a student admission to a California State University. So it also gives them a little head start on their GPA. So if their GPA isn't completely stellar, it does kind of give them a little boost with the GPA. They have the AT degree completed. So that helps in that aspect for admissions purposes. It's not a CSU of their choice, unfortunately, but it is guaranteed admission to a California State University once they complete it. And then once they transition to the university, it's just 2 more years for them to graduate. So that's another part of the guarantee, that not only are they guaranteed admission, but they're also guaranteed to finish their bachelor's degree in 2 more years. So we definitely do a lot of trips. I think our most exciting trip last year was the spring break trip. So 16 lucky students got to go on a 4-day trip all over Southern California to see San Diego, see San Marcos, UCLA, CSU Fullerton. So it's just a great opportunity for the students to actually step foot on the campuses and get that first-person experience, because it's totally different from just looking at a picture on a computer screen and them actually getting to sit on the campus, be there, walk around, and interact with the students that are already there. So it's a pretty awesome experience, and a lot of them have established very close friendships now, and I always see them walking around campus together and making plans to transfer to the same schools together. So it's pretty exciting.
So what struck me about Aaliyah's interview was I have never heard such a nuanced description of what our associate degrees for transfer are than what I heard from Aaliyah. I mean, and she made it just so accessible, and just, I mean, she knows it like the back of her hand. So it makes me realize how, you know, I'm so confident in our staff and being able to explain to students exactly what they're getting and the knowledge that it takes for her to be able to guide students, not only and student services staff to guide them not only to navigate Barstow Community College, but then how to transfer to all the different opportunities that they have. So there's a vast amount of regulatory, practical knowledge that student services staff, counselors, advisors have to master in order to be able to provide that kind of support and guidance for students. So I love that, and just in such a kind, warm, welcoming way. So thank you, Aaliyah.
My name is Lauren Mills. I'm a student success advisor at Barstow Community College. And I'm here because I'm really passionate about students, and I'm passionate about students that are like me. So I'm low income, I was underrepresented, and I needed someone to help me. And so this was an opportunity for me to do the same for other students. So I'm passionate about making sure that students succeed from their first step all the way down to graduation. So I'm really excited about the matriculation steps. So going to the high school, getting them in here, we do the matriculation, admissions application, orientation and assessment. We make sure that they have all the steps that they need so that they're successful. And then after that, I just kind of check in, make sure they're doing good. I have 2 programs on campus. I have one for academic probation, and then I have another for minority males. And so those are my passion. Those are the things that I love. And that's why I do what I do. Okay, if I was giving advice for a student looking for a job, first and foremost, we would start with their major. We would make sure that they're on the right education path for what they're looking for, whether that be CTE, welding, or English, social science. We want to make sure that they're in the right path. And then after we do that, we would go on to different websites to kind of do some career searching, and then I would take them over to the Transfer and Career Center that we have on campus, which is really awesome, and they could use those resources to make sure that they find the right placement. I would like to say that the reason that we're here is for the students. We want to make sure that we're putting the students first. That is our goal, that is our mission, and that's what we're passionate about. And if we continue to do that, if we continue to put the students first, I think we have so far to go. She's over here. I'm here.
So first of all, about Lauren, I mean, that energy, that dynamo is so infectious. I just love running into her every day because I get like this added boost of energy. Right? But you know, the other thing that strikes me about Lauren is she's like the poster child for guided pathways, which is the big deal, you know, that the chancellor is pushing. But you know, it just seems to come so natural. All of the steps, the focus on career, connecting career with our educational programs, getting a good end plan together, getting them on the right path, monitoring them throughout, getting them to complete, and then moving them on, whether it's in jobs or transferring. So once again, I don't think, you know, some of these folks don't need training on what these new initiatives are, because you seem to have just really focused on what is best for students to reach their goals as efficiently as possible, and you're just doing it. So thank you. That was really cool. And we have another classified professional I'd like to hear from.
My name is Maddie Mendiblis, and I am born and raised here at Barstow, and I went to all Barstow schools and graduated from here at Barstow College, and I am the CalWorks advisor, and especially with the programs and services here. And I consider myself, you know, a game changer, and you know, you're part of their story, and just for you to speak to that is just mind blowing. And I love my job. I really get fulfillment every day. I can't really think of a lot of people who are that excited to come to their job, but I most certainly am. This college has done a lot for me, and I think that's why I stayed here. It's because I want to give so much back. You know, when I was a student here, I was the Associate Student Body President, and that opened so many doors for me. It allowed me to be a member of the Chamber of Commerce, and I sat in on board meetings. It really did kick off my career in higher education, and I'm truly, truly grateful for that. I'll never tarnish this opportunity ever. And well, it says so on our answering machine. You know, your future begins here, and that's a true statement. You know, we change people's lives here every single day.
I think that was just really just very insightful, Maddie's comments, how, you know, you really become part of the narrative, part of the story, part of the trajectory of our students' lives. And it is true that that's what we do here, right? We transform lives, and it is mind-blowing, and it's so important. Wonderful, thank you. So, you know, I think you've heard directly from some of our amazing faculty, students, classified staff. Now I just want to, and I think I'm kind of running out of time, but this was most important that you got to hear from all of these folks. But I also want to remind you of last spring when we had our accreditation visit. We had outsiders, peers from other colleges come and meet with many people, evaluate our voluminous accreditation report, and actually come to validate what we do here. And we did get a letter over the summer from ACCJC, our accrediting commission. And here's another thing that you know, I'm so proud of, and some of you may remember, this was our friend and neighbor, Dr. Roger Wagner, president at Victor Valley College. He was the chair of the team, if you remember. And one of the things that they officially documented, one of their commendations about the college, I think I've got it memorized, something to the effect of their observation was that the faculty, the staff, and the administration live and breathe the mission of this college of serving students. So, you know, they were here just a few days and they captured that. Obviously, what you've heard from the interviews, so many of us, that's why we're here. So it's just a testament that it is known by our peers and reflected well in our accreditation. We do have a few things that we will be working on this year. We have a follow-up report due October 2019, but these are, you know, it's a very short list of recommendations, things that we already knew we needed to work on. I know our faculty are hard at work with program level student learning outcomes. We've got some procedural things in getting our evaluations in a timely way for all of our groups. Some code of ethics that we're going to be working on that will be easy and quick. And then also total cost of ownership. It's just really looking at making sure that we're accounting for all of the staff and resources for not only constructing buildings and infrastructure, but maintaining them effectively into the future. So we came out really great with accreditation. We're fully accredited, a few things to address. But for me, the thing that I'm most proud of is just the commendation. And again, you know, I'm gonna read this again because it's really specific and it is documented in our official record with accreditation. And so this came not just from the team, but from the commission itself in their official letter that we received. The team commends the college for making significant structural changes to its counseling services that have resulted in a more integrative approach to providing students with timely, useful, and accurate information, enhancing student retention and completion is what we're all about. By physically distributing the counselors throughout the college and assigning specific cohorts, the college has improved the advisory experience for all students. A high-touch approach involving outreach to at-risk students, the use of peer advisors has yielded further positive results, particularly in relation to retention. So congratulations to you. And I think that, you know, folks at the college, you just do what you do because, you know, you're dedicated to students and that's what you think about, that's what you do. But, you know, Vice President Kane and I, we know at other colleges, we often get in our own way, our organizational structures, our practices that we've had forever. It is not so easy to get the kind of collaboration and integration of student services, counselors, and advisors who work directly with students doing the right things and to yield these kind of results. So I just want you to know that what you're doing is very special. You may not be just what you do, but it was acknowledged. And I want to thank you for your dedication to students and yielding the results that we need. Okay, Okay, so this is the more serious part, and I'm gonna kind of breeze through it because I think we're on a little bit of a high, and I want this to be a positive, inspiring day. Right, but we do, I mean, there are some historic changes happening in California community colleges. You know, since we started in the 1960s, colleges were funded based on primarily access because we were created to address the huge demand for education. We had to bring in so many students, but we've come to the point where we care about access, but it's increasingly important that we focus on completion, students completing their educational goals in a timely way. You know, our chancellor talks about this. It's really, you know, at every level. Our governor, our presidents have talked about the importance of completion. I truly believe that the community colleges are they're the equalizer for our society. They provide access to affordable education, and we're working diligently to be able to get students to their educational goals so they can get jobs and be the drivers of our economies. And that's exactly what we're doing here at Barstow Community College. Anyway, one of the things that's reflected by the increased accountability at the state level is how we're now being funded, starting with this year. So it used to be we got funded just by our FTES, full-time equivalent students. That's just enrollments in classes. You're going to see there's going to be a 3-year phase-in process where the distribution of the different components of how we get funded is going to be FTES still. For this first year, 70% of our apportionment will come from that. But we're also going to be looking at what the chancellor calls supplemental allocations. That's based on the need of our community, and it's calculated on the number of students who receive Pell Grants or the BOG waiver that's now called the College Promise, and also the count of students who are 85-40 students. So that helps Barstow Community College because, as you know, we have a very high need, very low-income students that we're serving. The other component of our new funding formula has to do with student success. And, you know, staff and faculty, we're going to spend a lot of time really looking at the ways in which we're going to be awarded points for the different types of outcomes. It's correlated with the number of units that students get, because, you know, there's evidence that shows the more units, the more time in school, you know, the more resilient students are to unemployment and the greater wage gains that they earn. But you can see they're going to be tracking our associate degrees for transfer to the Cal States that Aaliyah knows all about. That gets the highest points for us in getting apportionment, but also our CTE certificates and our wage gains. So all of those things we have been doing, will continue to do. And I can say that although the final numbers aren't in, it looks as though based on both our need and our success, we will be getting, I think, about an 18% increase in our apportionment allotment this year. So more about that, but it's just really, it's a big thing for us in the state. Another thing, again, this is, we're really relying on conversations with counselors, advisors, and especially our faculty in foundational skills of math and English and ESL. But this is another huge challenge for all of the community colleges, where when we place students, when they enter, in their foundational skills, we'll be using multiple measures, as you know, we've been doing that, relying on evidence, but we're really looking at what predicts success based on our placement. And you know, there's tons of evidence that really shows that despite the very best intentions of everyone, that students, when they're placed in low levels of these classes, very small percentages, you know, less than 5% are getting to transfer level in multiple years. So we're going to have to address this. We're required by fall of 2019 to implement this AB, the Assembly Bill 705. We have the opportunity to make it work for us, use our own local data, but I just want to encourage and know that we're here to support the faculty and counselors who are going to help make this happen on time, because we need to do it. And I think that we're already seeing in the College Promise program that's, you know, using multiple measures, placing more students higher in those foundational classes is helping them reach their educational milestones and ultimately completion more quickly, and more of them rather than dropping out through discouragement of courses at the lowest level. So that's a big thing for us coming up. You've heard a lot about the online community college and the state. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on that. I can send around information to folks, but this is happening at the state level. It's what they're calling the 115th community college. It legally exists at this time. It is fully funded. There were requirements to identify 3 programs. That's been done on time. That's medical, coding, IT, and some supervisory training programs. And, our chancellor and governor talk about this is really focused on small certificates, really aligned to some of the industry needs. I'm not really worried about this in terms of our college. I don't want people to be worrying about this because it's politically, we're not sure exactly how this is all going to pan out for us. I know Barstow Community College has a reputation for having an outstanding online program. We were one of the first out the gates to develop an excellent program, and we continue to do that. So I just encourage us all to just continue on that path of ensuring excellence, and we'll be just fine. And we'll watch to see what happens. There's some other state-funded initiatives that is bringing dollars into the college, and I want to commend our managers and leaders and faculty and staff for making good use of the funding. We're getting a little bit more money for guided pathways. You've heard a little bit about that. You'll continue to hear about that. What else? We're also getting funding for adult education, and you may be aware that we are part of the consortium called the Barstow Area Consortium for Adult Education with our high school feeder schools. So this is great. This last year was the first year we got a good sum of money at the college to support the development of more educational programs. We know that we've got a high percentage of our young people who have not completed their high school diploma. I mean, that is such a barrier for jobs. So we're working really hard to develop more programs around adult education and partnering with our high schools. And one of the things I want to let folks know on Main Street, they've been retrofitting, I guess was the old Social Security Administration building, and this is going to be our new adult school. There'll be GED testing and a lot of new things happening to support our adult learners. So they're targeting now somewhere around August 20th. So that's an exciting thing. From the workforce, that's been happening. I know very confident in Dean Thomas and her wonderful staff bringing money in. I think there's like 14 different projects. I think Sandy will be talking about that a little bit later, but again, there's just so much going on. It's partly why we have such a wonderful CTE program and facility, because he's been able to bring in some really great modern equipment for our students to have great hands-on experience. So that is going to continue and expand. Another thing I want to announce, we've been bringing in more money to the college, partly because we have the greatest staff jump on every opportunity to bring in revenue. Sorry, allergies, I'm coughing, sorry. To bring in revenue to benefit our students. And, opportunities, come across my desk all the time. And, I have to balance, the capacity. There's so much going on in the state. But whenever I share, here's an opportunity, I just love it. At Barstow, people say, yeah, we're going to try for that. And I'll tell you, we've been extremely successful. So we know $750,000 for the Barstow College Promise. That has been a cooperative venture. Mayor Julie, you're here, you've been part of that when that was kicked off. Our manager, Melissa Meadows, for this program. This has just been a wonderful program. We're entering our second year. Excuse me, showing great results already. So we want to keep supporting that and learning from it, because ultimately what folks do with the College Promise students, we want to expand to more students. Not sure about the free college tuition, we have to work on that. But all of the learning about what works to keep students engaged, the kinds of supports that keep them retained at college and completing, that's where it's happening with the Barstow College Promise. Great stuff. Thank you, Melissa. are relatively new things. Again, last spring, we had the opportunity to apply competitively for a mental health services grant, $300,000 for that. So we're going to be doing some great things, hiring a mental health counselor and support person. I'm going to have a space to help students that we know Barstow, many societies, communities deal with issues of mental health. So now we're really pleased we'll be better able. Oh my gosh, thank you. Another thing that many of you may not know, we just got news, of another grant, $100,000 Veterans Resource Center grant. So yay, all right, so exciting, right? So you're gonna be able to expand the resource center for veterans to come in. So big capital improvement, but also 60% of that money is gonna go directly to our veterans. So really wonderful. Once again, we passed that up, we jumped on it, and we won that grant. So congratulations. Some new things on campus real quickly. Executive Director of the foundation, Amy King, just want to thank you for being part of some of the new wonderful things happening at the foundation. We have President Bob Clemmer here, Foundation Director. There may be other foundation directors here that I may have missed, but anyway, this is such a wonderful group. Lots going on with the foundation, new website, I welcome you to look at that. We've been adding some directors to the program, some great visioning about how we can generate more and more funding for scholarships and maybe some other things. So this is really exciting. I'm so grateful to be part of this group and continue doing more for the college. Another thing, as far as we know, a lot of hard work, Brian King. Looks like we're going to have a women's soccer team. In addition to the other sports that we have, wonderful part of our life, wonderful supporting our student athletes, fantastic transfer rates for all of those students who are learning not only to do their academics, but also the value of being team members, collaborating. And that's a skill that goes beyond the sports. It's something that we carry through life and through work. So, and the soccer team, that's going to be a lot of fun. And I want to acknowledge Trustee Paul Wilkie for starting this. I know it was something that's been important for him. You may remember in this facility last spring, we had our inaugural health and fitness fair where here again, it's an example of how we're partnering more and more with folks in the community, the doctors, the communities. I want to thank Lyle Engeldinger and the college staff that really helped to make this happen. And we're looking forward to doing another one this year and bringing in more voices, working increasingly with the PE faculty to see ways in which they can be more a part of that, expanding it to our wellness center. So this is another exciting thing, another example of how, we are Barstow Community College, and more we want to bring folks in the community to the college. We've got such a wide range of individuals, young and old, who wanted to come to the college, more and more getting exposed to what we offer. Another really cool thing that's coming up in October, and I want to thank, first of all, an agency that has been a great friend and supporter of the community college for years, the Mojave Water Agency, and Beth Lowry in particular. Also, Trustee Fernando Baca is here, has been a big driver in getting together along with the chamber, and you can see the city. The College Foundation is participating in a water conservation, we're calling it the Barstow Water Wise Festival. So it's intended to be a community event, educational about conservation, sustainability, beautifying our community, just elevating the pride that we have in Barstow. And once again, I'm honored that it's going to happen at our college, and we're going to bring more and more awareness about what we have to offer here. So I appreciate the leadership of this happening, and it's going to be a great event. And also, I think she was here earlier, but Diane Flores is part of the Economic Development Committee of the Chamber. I've been honored to be able, honored to be able to work with her for economic development. And this is one aspect of that work. Another new thing on campus, there's a phlebotomy course. This is not Barstow Community College. Just want to make people know it's not one of our credit programs. We may develop one, but again, being open to partnerships. I know that this school, the AUMT Phlebotomy Institute, they provide this contract, this kind of continuing education at many other community colleges. So while we're working to see what other potential allied health programs we might have, we thought here's an opportunity for our community members, students who might want to go into phlebotomy. There's great jobs. So that's going to be happening starting this fall, September 15th, right on campus. I think it's going to be at the D building, there where the cosmetology workforce development is. So I wanted everybody to be aware of that, and we'll see how Saturday classes go on campus, opening things up. Of course, Performing Arts Center, there's a new season. Those of you who were able to make the open house last week were able to get a sense from our Pac-Man, Ed Will, the exciting performances coming up. Really looking forward to that. So just reminiscent of last year, we have Amy and her choir. Love your performances, Amy, and Ed Will is always such a wonderful presence for all of us. I want to thank him. And just want to close, we started out talking about listening to the voices of all of those individuals who are asked to reflect on what it means, to be at Barstow Community College. So I just wanted to close to say, if I were asked that question, I would just have to respond, through learning more about each of you, just listening to these interviews and having a glimpse of your experiences and your passion. What I would have to say about Barstow Community College, certainly I am extremely inspired, I'm motivated, I am humbled by the commitment of all of you. And oh my God, here I go, Nance, I'm taking after and this is a hard job. You see, there's so much going on, but I will tell you that the word that comes to mind mostly is I feel, because of all of you, I'm resolute in my commitment to supporting our community, because Barstow has such a wonderful community. You heard it in our faculty, you hear it in our students. People come here and the first thing, there's such need here that the first thing they want to do is give back. They want to come back here, they want to work here, they want to give the others in need. And that is what's so special about Barstow Community College. So I want to just thank you. I also want to acknowledge the trustees. I think you're all here. Dr. Fred Baca, board president, Fred Baca, Paul Wilkie, Bill Harris was here earlier. Tim Hyden wasn't able to be here. They support me so much, and I appreciate that, so that I can help support you and what you do for students and for our community. So with that, thank you. I love that. That was such a fun time with our students. For our community members who need to leave, I just want to thank you for coming and feel special about your busy days. Thank you for coming.
Hi, good morning. I think the mic is on.
No, it's not.
Okay. Well, good morning. I don't know why the mic isn't on. Much, much better. Hey, I want to thank you for coming here today. Dr. Bag, that was an amazing presentation. We're going to just roll right into the next section here. And I want to say that I was discussing my introductions with my wife, Amanda. She gave me 2 pieces of advice. First of all, she said, try not to be too charming, too witty, or too intellectual. Just be yourself.
I think it's just.
And then make sure that when you finish speaking, before your audience has finished listening. While Professor Noonsgill is coming up here, I wanted to tell you that I looked at Rate My Professor for you, and I wanted you to know this is what I found. Miss Noonsgill is an awesome teacher. One of the best online courses I have taken. She's very interactive in her discussions. She gives fast responses and grades, and I really learned a lot from taking your class, and the way the course is set up, you can understand the expectations and assignments clearly. Great class, great teacher, highly recommended. And she teaches live classes here as well. Thanks for driving so far and for being one of the great faculty members here at Barstow Community College. Please welcome Professor Noonsgill.
You saw it before I teach your voice out.
Do you know how that one's look like? He said he's going up there.
Good morning, everyone.
Oh yeah,
I
because
hope
he has
that
to slip.
everyone has had a restful and rejuvenating summer. I would like to thank those of you who were able to take the summer off, or at least some time off during the summer in all areas of our college. And I would like to thank those of you who continue to work this summer, either teaching, restructuring your courses, attending committee meetings, conferences, and for all of you who have been preparing for the return of faculty and students. It is everyone collectively who makes a difference at our college. At the recent Academic Senate Leadership Conference, 10+1 was referenced to throughout the conference. And working closely with the college to ensure that faculty are leading 10+1. We have been given responsibilities that ensure we provide a stellar education for our students, that programs and courses are reviewed regularly, that we develop degrees and certificates that ensure student success and completion, including prerequisites and book adoptions, to name a few. Faculty who are seeking changes, that they submit those changes through our tech review and curriculum committee. We need to ensure that the degrees and certificates we are providing to our students can be completed and meet the never-ending changes in local industries and those throughout our country. But more importantly, that processes need to be in place that will assure these practices are done in a timely manner. We began our discussion on guided pathways last spring, at our faculty retreat and several meetings at the college. We will continue to move forward with this at various meetings and at our fall faculty retreat that will be held October 12th, 13th, and 14th. So please mark your calendars. Thank you, Will. Today, during our Academic Senate meeting, we will be developing goals for the year of things to accomplish. However, one of the things that I will continue to work on are the words that are on this banner. I'm sure all of you kind of remember it. Communicating consistently with others respectfully and professionally. Accountability by demonstrating and fostering integrity and ethical behavior within ourselves. Reaching balance in the full appreciation for the institution as a whole. Embracing a breadth and depth of perspectives and supporting our students and each other as we serve the educational needs of our community. Faculty, we are a driving force at our college. We have a responsibility to review and implement the Academic Senate's 10+1 for our students and our college. Our voices need to be heard, but if concerns aren't shared, if they're only whispered behind closed doors, then we can't make the changes needed. Please come to me or any other senator with concerns so that we can continue to be transparent in what we do. And at this time, if I would, for those of you who are new to our college, if all the senators can please stand. Come on, you guys. I'd like to introduce you. Not but it was a well-deserving round of applause. So I first would like to start off with my president, our president-elect, Rudy Duque. Our secretary, Don Howie. And then alphabetically, I'm going to announce our other senators, which are Abe Aboud, Dr. Paul Courtney, but I don't think he's here today, Jill Murphy, Susan Nylander, Roland O'Neill, Denise Hoffley, and Eduardo Vasquez. So please, if you have any concerns, these are the people to come to talk to share, so they can bring it to the Senate. They're amazing senators. And I wouldn't have been half as good as, well, I'm not sure if I was all that good, but we had a great year last year with their support, and I couldn't have done it without them. So, thanks, guys. So with that said, we need a commitment from each and every one of you to do what needs to get done to ensure that we are heard. It is an honor to serve as the Academic Senate President, and I look forward to an amazing academic year and working with everyone. Thank you.
Our next presenter is Beverly Rainey. So while she's working her way up here, I also wanted to rate my professor about, apparently she was honored quite recently and went to Washington, D.C. Congratulations. Professor Rainey, this is a direct quote from Rate My Professor. Professor Rainey knows her stuff and works very hard to be sure students get it. We created the syllabus, and therefore students get what they asked for. She always has time to answer real questions in class and via email. She's all business and doesn't waste students' time. Studying for quizzes and exams is a must, and attendance is important too. And this student got a B in your class. Thanks for making a difference in the lives of our students. And we have awesome faculty here. Please welcome Professor Beverly Rainey.
So
Costa Rica, and Washington DC is next week. But the good news is the Board of Trustees approved our contract, so collective bargaining worked well. So we have a contract faculty. We're happy about that. We have some questions on the contract, Taylor. We have answers, okay? So we'll be discussing that today at 3 in the black box. And I want to recognize the other officers of BCFA, with Avi and Eduardo and Susan. So I'm looking forward to a great year. Thank you very much.
I guess I'm back up. Okay. Next person is Robbie Evans, and I couldn't help it. Robbie, I found your college employment evaluation. It was on the floor just outside the HR office. I had to tape it back together. But I wanted to share some things from the comments section. I really enjoyed reading this. Okay? It said, since this employee first began employment, he has reached rock bottom and continues to dig. I would not allow this employee to breed. People would follow this employee anywhere, but only out of morbid curiosity. This employee works well with constant supervision and cornered like a cat in a trap. When he opens his mouth, it seems that it is only to exchange feet. This employee would be out of his depth in a parking lot puddle. The employee appears to possess delusions of adequacy. And he sets a low personal standards and fails to meet them. This employee is depriving some village of their idiot. Please welcome Mr. Robbie Evans.
Thank you very much. I hope everybody found that hilarious. I personally did. You know, one of the things that I just want to mark, make sure I make a comment on is that, there's a lot of other institutions. We offer very similar classes. Buildings are pretty similar. The difference in Barstow sitting in this room, it's the people that we work with. It's our ability to work with each other and strive towards some of the goals that we all find important. That's, just knowing that that student that comes to your office 20 times a week and asks the most simplest questions, and we answer them with grace and dignity, and we make sure that those students walk away feeling that. That's what keeps our students here. And when we get to the end of this year, those students, as we watch them walk across the stage to receive the degrees and diplomas and certificates, that's when we find our reward, because we know that we are the difference. And I just want to encourage each and every one of you in this office, in this building, that regardless of your status, regardless of your title, continue to do what we're doing, because we do great things here. I was hoping that the board would stick around part of my speech, because I've been around for a couple of years, and I just have to say that the best decision that I've seen this board make is bringing Dr. Bagg on board. And I'm speaking for myself, but I know I speak on behalf of the vast majority of your staff. Appreciate the leadership that you provide, the culture of inclusivity that you have brought to our institution. Just your will to have us work in a much more synergetic way and interdepartmental cooperation, and having an understanding that if I have an opinion, it's based on my knowledge working with students, and it is taken into account and it has value. We appreciate that. And that's the end of my speech. You guys have a great afternoon.
Thank you, Robbie. There's no way but up on your eval. Dr. Eva Bag, last year you were brand new to the campus, so I just read your bio so that people would learn more about you as your introduction. But this time I'm not letting you off so easy. I also looked you up on Rate My Professor from when you taught anthropology. And here's what one student said. Dr. Bag is a wonderful teacher. I didn't really know that much about anthropology before taking the class. Now it is my major. She really made the subject come to life, so to speak. Yeah, take that. Now that wasn't bad enough. Let's try this one. This teacher was awesome. She was so helpful and extremely passionate about her work. The class was fun too, and I learned a lot. Highly recommended. Fun classes at BCC. Well, it just goes to show you that you are among the great teachers here at Barstow Community College. And we're very glad and fortunate to have you leading the charge again this year. Please welcome Dr. Eva Bag. I should have gone on some more. No.
Boy, I didn't think Rate Your Professor, I guess it never goes away. So I just want to thank Ed for being a crazy fun MC for this program. Also, I also want to mention, and I had it earlier, the breakfast that you had this morning. I want to thank Barbara Rose, if she's over here. Thank you so much for organizing the food for all of us. I know that you've also done work behind the scenes, creating the space for us, so I want to thank you for that. Next on the agenda this morning, I'd like to call up Professor Nance. Please, if you can talk about the Don White Teacher Excellence Award.
Thank you, Dr. Bag. I'm not sure what happened last spring and that the information for the Don White Award was not sent out to all faculty. In order to ensure that this doesn't occur again, the Academic Senate will identify this in the Constitution and bylaws. This will become the duty of the Academic Senate President moving forward. The White family has recognized for almost 2 decades a faculty member for teaching excellence combined with a service to the college with what we know as the Don White Award. Many of you have been past recipients and understand the honor that when you have received it. So in the next few weeks, an email will be sent out to all faculty asking for nominations. And once the nominees are compiled, a survey will be sent out to faculty so that you can vote on your colleague, and Mrs. White can then come and share the award in honor of her late husband, Don White. Thank you.
Thank you, Nance. Next, I'd like to call up Robbie to present the CSEA Employee Award. Come on up, Robbie. And I think Ed's already had plenty to say about you, so I'll just
All right. As many of you know, because we've actually handed this award out in private, but I would actually actually love to recognize one of our very own that she does an amazing job. She is central to pretty much every operation across this campus, quietly central to every operation across this campus. Ms. Avery Yanis, come on up.
Thank you, but I don't know what else to say, but I love being here, I love working here, and I love all my fellow coworkers and everybody that I work with, so that they make it possible for me to do what I do, so thanks.
Wow, congratulations, April. That's really wonderful. So we're going to move on to the next part of our morning, and I want to apologize. I ran us overtime, so I think we're running a little bit behind schedule, but still, the next thing is just honoring the years of service of a number of you. So let me pull out the certificates that we've got here. Wonderful. It looks like Rosalinda and Paulette are going to come assist. So I think what we'll do, I'll call your name up and give you your certificate, and we have pens to thank you for your service to the college. And if you don't mind coming up and just standing here, I'm sure there's someone can take a photo, and just like to acknowledge the continuing number of years of service for many of you. Okay, so. 5 years of service on airplane. Bobby Evans, 5 years. Also 5 years, Lisa Lavarius. Al Norton, he's at the fort. We'll hold that, send that to Al. 5 years, Dr. Beverly Randy. Again, April. Here she is. Okay, now we've got folks here who have been here 10 years. Elsa Greenlee. Christy Furtha. Okay, from our distance learning office, Adrienne Rodriguez. Our PE instructor, Dr. Michael Carpel. Marshall College Wellness Manager, Melissa Meadows. At 10 years, we also have Orlinda Puglisi. Gloria Webster, 10 years.
We have too many great employees.
Do a dance so that we're not watching everybody walk up and down. One of our wonderful counselors, 15 years of dedicated service, Randy Christensen. Well, this person is very near and dear to my heart, 15 years. My wonderful assistant has been a friend to me a long time, Michelle Henderson. This morning, but I will be sure to get that to her. She's embarrassed to make person to say her that. 15 years of service also from our distance learning staff, wonderful folks, Annika Gilekis. Gals that let me walk into the distance office. They don't seem to mind it, but I love it. I remember you helping me with my online class, and you're still at it. I'm like, 15 years, Barbara Rose. Professor Brett Sage. I we were just talking about opportunity. Some of my faves. Commissions and records, Shirley Delfana. Joanne Garcia, oh my gosh, 20 years of service. I guess I didn't meet you before. That's it, wonderful. The whole thing kind of
One more.
We need to be
Lastly, I wanted to introduce our new employees. So I think, we had something that we were rolling to introduce some of our new employees.
It's almost like that's
And, you know, I don't think I have memorized all of the new folks. I know Karen, you're new in a way. I'm not sure who else is here. I did get to meet Lilia Franco, one of our new counselors. I see her so happy to welcome you. We also have a new full-time counselor, as not completely new, but new as a full-timer. I am so happy to have Emily Garrison. And I'm sorry, if you don't mind helping me out since I don't have the list. If you are new, could you stand up and then I can point you out to folks? This is from last spring, okay, so here, wonderfully saving man. So taking those videos, you can see how he got the kind of response he did and his technical expertise. Thank you, Amir. I'm sorry.
Jason Early.
Math instructor. Jason, I'm sorry, your last name?
Early.
Early. Thank you so much.
Okay, Julie, no.
Can you introduce yourself? I'm sorry, and tell us what you're teaching.
My name is Francis. I'm teaching chemistry.
Oh, Thank you so much. I don't know if folks know that Professor Emily Spencer, she shared with me news. It was a hard decision for her to leave the college, but she's closer to home at Riverside Community College. So it was wonderful. We'll miss her, but thank you so much for stepping in and being our chemistry professor. Welcome. Anyone else that I missed? And I apologize. I know we had a little things there at the end, but I definitely want to welcome you, and also just want to. No, another one. Where else? Where were we? Sorry.
Julian Bevin, I'm going to be teaching speech and student development.
We're going to try and pretend that I can pronounce your name, but come by my office and help me practice. Welcome. I think hopefully we've got everybody, but we'll send something out so that, but I've also asked, you'll probably have a photographer come by to take your photos so that we can share it so that people will be able to know who you are and welcome you when they run into you on campus. So welcome and thank you. Welcome to the Barstow Community College family. I think that wraps up the morning time. Okay, thank you for keeping us on track. Please sign in if you haven't already on your way out. Enjoy lunch today. Got meetings later in the afternoon. For those adjunct faculty who came, thank you so much. If you want, there's another session tonight at 6 o'clock for adjunct faculty as well. So thanks everybody. It was a lot of fun. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope you have a wonderful year and a great day today. Enjoy.
Is there a light
I'm pretty sure that's like a conference. Oh, okay. Right. I went down 1 year ago. Where's she at now?
He said he was coming, I got an email he got the town he did back, but he didn't say anything about having your information already taken care of that. He didn't say anything, he was saying, I've got it ready.
No, but I said the same day
Oh,
you
yeah.
sent over.
I will.
yes.
I'll find the email, send it again. But before, before you go out there, make sure to call him Monday and make sure it's there. He says he can do it, in emergencies, he can do it in 24 to 48 hours, get the pass. They have to stop and pick it up. So you have to go out there and get I don't think so. I haven't seen him.
Okay.
But he wouldn't have the pass. I know all he would have is go to the desk and.
I remember that, yeah.
So,
Okay, I'll send another
but
email.
definitely talk to me before you go out there on Tuesday.
Okay.
Hey, I have something for you. Everything. The presentation is not very good, but, and I don't know if you have this one already, but I just couldn't resist. It's the best.
Up there.
Too sad and one hilarious. I saw the Ghost of the lady from Battlesman. And then the werewolf girl. That was so sad. Yeah. And then there was the trickster. That was really funny. I loved that.
Okay. So it's almost 11. We are going to get started. Can someone, Sandy G, oh, thank you. Yeah, that's right.
What happened at the end of the show? Music, right? The main high school. And they just, they took back in black, they get back in the black car, right? And then they gave us that was the best. Music.
Okay, on Monday, when you greet your classes, I know you're going to say, please move down to the front. So can some of you bad kids in the back try to move yourselves forward, at least into the front section? That'd be easier. For those of you who have never talked on a stage, the lights are blinding, so we can't actually see you back there, but we can see you very well right here. Thank you. Okay, we're gonna get started so we can stay on time. For those of you I haven't met, my name is Karen Kane. Dr. Begg gave me a very nice introduction this morning, which I appreciate. She and I worked together for many years, and I'll say it again, Robbie said it best. Barstow Community College is so fortunate to have a leader of Dr. Begg's exceptional capabilities and depth of experience. So she didn't really have to twist my arm. When I was offered the opportunity to come and work with her, I jumped. So no arm twisting, but that was cute of her to say. So just to make sure you're all still awake, and to help you learn just a little bit more about me, because we're all going to be working very well together this semester, I'm going to give you a little interactive quiz. So, are you ready? Okay. So, this is going to be about icons. Icons. I-C-O-N-S. Icons. Use it in a sentence. Okay, icons. I come, and if you know me real well, you don't get to guess, but I come from a city where we do this to represent our famous icon. I spent my entire career, almost 40 years, in a city where this is our representative of our icon. Any guesses? No, but thank you for participating. Okay, I'll give you a clue because it's Friday and you know it's summer and I went to school in San Diego for part of my schooling, but I spent my career in Long Beach. This is what we do to show the icon of Long Beach. What? Wait, what did Eduardo say? Oh, somebody said the Queen Mary, the 3 red stacks on the boat, the ship, the Queen Mary. Okay, now you're getting how we're playing, right? Okay, then I retired and I moved out of state to a city near this city whose icon is this. Good guess. Now it does this.
It is the Seattle,
It now has a glass bottom that spins. The Seattle Space Needle, that's right. Okay, so I actually live near there. Good. Let's hear it for Nance. Okay, and then Dr. Begg invited me to Barstow where I thought the icon was this.
Is that the ship?
No? The people behind me are guessing really well. Say it out loud. The what? Not a tree. It has prickles. What kind of a cactus? It starts with an S. So, yeah, Saguaro, is that right? Saguaro. So I've been so disappointed I haven't seen a single one of these. But I feel, and it's been voiced today, that really the icon of Barstow is this. What is this? Okay, let me give you the village people. Y stands for you. Okay. Yeah. So several people this morning said this, and I agree wholeheartedly that when you're thinking of this community, really it is Barstow Community College and the people that lead Barstow Community College, you, who will make a difference in this city and in this region and in this state. As Dr. Begg said this morning, I am so impressed with the talent at Barstow Community College, the creativity, the willing to work beyond what most people would ever think to work, and the innovative ways that you're delivering to our students so that they can succeed. So in all honesty, I'm not being funny because usually I try to be funny, but you are the ones that are going to make the better Barstow. So I feel honored and privileged to be able to get to work with you for just a short amount of time. But in that time, I know we have a lot of work to do, as you're going to be hearing, and we will get it done. and we will have a good time doing it together. So thank you for allowing me the opportunity to get to work with you. And the folks behind me are patiently waiting to tell you about, what's the title of this topic? In the Know, so that you feel like if you haven't been around this summer, you're going to hear what's been going on and what we will be doing to go forward with your help, assistance, and expertise. So, Maestro? Oh, do I have to do it? Oh, the magic stick. Thank you. Oh, okay. A&R. So each of the area leaders here is going to talk a little bit about what's going on in their area, but the leader of this area, the Director of Enrollment Services, is Heather Meinhardt. She couldn't join us this morning, but she said in her very succinct way, I don't really have anything to tell them. I send it all out in email. So everybody knows Heather Meinhardt. She is genius at what she does and keeps this college afloat in enrollment services and financial aid. And we're very lucky that we have someone of Heather's caliber on this team. So Heather Meinhardt, and then, but you will be seeing things in your email from her. Oh, you're gonna do that, okay, good. Thank you, Nance, for pointing that out. Oh, so to talk about Barstow Community College Athletics, Brian King. Thank you. So we have 5 athletic teams. Soccer's launching this fall. We have about 100 student athletes on campus. They're all full-time students. Couple things you need to know. First of all, we would love your support. We would love to see you guys out of games. We'd love to see you in the gym. And more than anything, the athletes would love to see that. They always love that. The only other thing I need to give you today is we care a lot about how our student athletes achieve in the classroom. Your help, you guys can help tremendously. When we have that feedback loop through the faculty and coaches are being made aware that, hey, Johnny didn't show up today, or hey, Susie didn't turn in an exam, it's huge. That feedback loop is huge for those coaches. We can put a little pressure on these individuals and help make sure that they're achieving. So you can help us in that way, we would appreciate it. Thank you. So Jerry Peters is our Director of Operations at Fort Irwin. He's actually at Fort Irwin today, but as you noted in Dr. Bagg's talk this morning, we are going to be doing some innovative programming, doing the same kind of program we've been doing, but including more innovative programming for our soldiers on their schedule, on their rotation, so that we can service them and their families better. Our Dean of Instruction and CTE Workforce and Economic Development, her title gets longer every time, Sandy Thomas.
Welcome back, staff, and good morning. I'm here to share some of the good things that have happened through the summer and going to continue through the year of 18-19. First of all, I'd like to thank you, staff members. We couldn't do it without you and all your hard work for those of you that worked this summer and continue to work with building our programs. This summer, we had an amazing 10th year 2018 summer camp with 85 students, 4th through 8th grade. We brought them to our campus for 1 whole month, and we did a STEM academy. With this academy, it included components of manufacturing and renewable energy, robotics, technology, and computer programming. We did a miniature career assessment, pathways, and STEM. We have photography and other events with community services. With that, we have shown that these kids now, since it's our 10th year, have come back, and some of them are now graduating from Barstow Community College. So my picture up there, those were some of the pictures. At this point, I'd like to thank Tim Lytle, who helped us this summer, Joe Williams, Todd Bartholow, Nancy News-Gills came to talk about child development. Anna Thompson came to speak on cosmetology. Roland O'Neill in the industrial maintenance and electrical instrumentation. And our one and only Oppie, who did fitness for all those kids. So again, that was a beautiful program and it keeps on building, 85 students. So we clap at that. Now on the academic side, right now, CTE, you're gonna hear a lot of building a strong workforce. What is a strong workforce? More and better career technical training to increase social mobility and full regional economic and skilled workforce. This year, we put in a lot of projects / grants, and we were awarded $1.2 million. So with that, in our region, I will be representing the deans and an executive board to be able to have a voice for Barstow Community College. And with those grants, there's 15 programs that we were awarded, and that's in megatronics, subcommittees, incubators, and makerspace, regional and district job developers, pilot programs in regional, helping the veterans, small business curriculum, which Denise has been doing that with her staff, regional data and alignment, awareness with veterans and CTE college credit. So we're going to be able to put money with our counselors to be able to have them help the veterans, cloud-based network, computer science, and employable soft skills to create pathways. So you'll be seeing us all over the map, but we have $1.2 million to be able to have staff development and bring the programs up to another level so that our students are able to get jobs in the 21st century. So. Okay, our next thing, it's just a flyer. We, in the vocational side of the house, we have to have mandated advisory meetings. This year, we're partnering with our Barstow Chamber of Commerce. My instructors know what we're doing. We send out letters already to our partners, and our teachers will then send out more. So what this is if they help guide us along with building our programs to see if we're meeting the needs of the community and the jobs that are out there in our surrounding areas. So we have that October 16th. We will be sending out flyers to everybody in our community. Thank you. Okay. Okay, I know Dr. Bag talked about this, but this was a work in progress from May to just Monday. This is a need, and we're really pleased to have this BNSF contract training. We remodeled the old fitness center, as you can see, on the campus, and the top of the line art welding training started with the first cohort on Monday. Ongoing training will be placed for 5 years. So what it is it's our incumbent workers with Santa Fe and all over California, and they'll be trained in the welding beams, and they will get certificates. And with that, we plan on hopefully growing programs and bringing more industry partners to help our college grow. But with that, I think I have to acknowledge the people that worked really hard. A lot of them came on their own time. We had a capstone project with a summer welding class this year, which we haven't had before, and we had 28 kids, our students, involved in it. And with that, this project could have been done with the leadership of Todd Bartholow, who, I mean, we'll give you a tour after 4 o'clock because right now we can't walk in there with training because it's safety. Brian Packard, Richard Bremen, Tim Lytle, and Cody Jeffers and his students. So it's amazing, you guys, and with hopes that soon, in the near future, we'll be able to offer credit-based classes up there. So CTE has a lot of money, so come close to me. We can make anything work with programs. All these programs, and the bottom line, I believe, is we're all here to get jobs for our students. So with the money we have, it's going to contain, math, English, writing, and every department. So jump on board, ESL as well. So have a great year, and we're here to help you in anything we can do. Thank you.
Associate VP of HR, come close to me. Any violations in HR language there? Just kidding. Okay, I'm going to pause this presentation for 1 second because Oppie Apinuro Leolofi, will you please stand? How many years of service have you given to Barstow Community College? 10 years. 10 years, and somehow his name got overlooked this morning. So now what will happen is that we're going to make a huge deal out of this in at least 5 different venues throughout the semester. But let's give Api a big hand for 10 years of service to Barstow Community College. Thanks, Api. Okay, did you really want to say something? Lyle, did you? Or I was just pointing out, honestly, I'll say this. I'm going to go back to the U. Sandy runs a school unto itself, quite frankly, with all the work she's doing within her area. And she, like the other deans and directors and managers, are doing incredible work. You know that because you're right there with them. The part of the U that I think is missing, we know at Barstow that you're doing good work. We need to start letting other folks know what you're doing. So I'm going to encourage you this semester as we work together to start putting yourself out there. Go out there, not come closer. Go out there and present the good work that you're doing. Because other community colleges, you might think because they're larger or they're more well-known or whatever you think, that they're doing better work. That is absolutely incorrect. I'm going to tell you that over and over. The work you're doing is amazing. People need to hear what you're doing. You need to present so that people can start copying what we're doing at Barstow. I'm going to tell you that over and over because I need you to go out and show everybody else the Barstow way and how you can actually serve students successfully in a rural community college or a large community college, but you're doing incredible work. So Sandy, thank you for everything that you shared. And she really does have, she writes grants for Strong Workforce. She does this and she's been highly successful. So there are ways to integrate what we're doing into what she's doing. And those are the kinds of things we're going to talk about this semester as well. Okay, now, any questions? Mr. Engeltinger, any questions? No, okay. So now we'll move to special programs and services. Ms. Christina Calderon.
Hi, everybody. If you didn't know me, hi, I'm Christina Calderon. I'm the Director of Special Programs and Services. I just wanted to let all of you know, if you didn't know, we have various special programs that can really assist all of our students who might need a little bit more supportive services for them to create an educational plan, go through their educational goals, and complete here at Barstow Community College. So the first program I'm going to talk about is EOPS. So what do you think about when you hear about EOPS? Okay, that didn't work. Okay, so a lot of times everybody hears about EOPS and they think it's only textbooks. But we have a variety of support services that we can assist students. And if they need their textbooks, the students actually have a chance throughout the first week because our deadline for EOPS isn't until a Friday, which is the 17th at 1 o'clock. So if you see your students during the first week, you can let them know that if they haven't applied for EOPS, that they should. Also, this semester, we are trying to just break down some more barriers for getting people access into our program. So we have dropped our minimum GPA requirement. It used to be 1.75. Now we will take a student at any GPA. We have also dropped our tax information requirement. We're just going off of what financial aid reports. And so it's much easier to apply for our programs. So please encourage this first week of classes that they really should come and apply for EOPS. A lot of supportive services, transportation assistance, school supplies, meal vouchers, and of course their textbooks. We are trying to guarantee textbooks for our students. And that is excellent because if they're going to be in your class without a textbook, guess what? They're not going to be as successful in their course. So the other special program we have is CARE. CARE is for students who are on EOPS, but they have a child in their household and they're receiving cash aid. One thing I wanted to highlight about this program is that we offer a child care assistance through EOPS and CARE. So if a student is coming in and really needs assistance in paying for childcare so they can attend your course, if they're eligible for our program, they could get up to $300 or up to $400 paid directly to their childcare provider to assist with childcare. Yes?
Does that mean they can actually earn up to 700 possibility?
No, it is not double dipped. They get up to $300 if they're on EOPS, up to $400 if they're CARE. So CARE gets an extra $100. So, but it's an excellent program. If students didn't know about it, ask them again. Please come and apply. Also, our CalWorks program, this is for students who are on County Cash Aid. It is an excellent program to try and get them really career ready. And so one of the great things, we have books and we have meal vouchers and all of those other things, but the uniqueness about this program is that we offer work-study opportunities. So how many of you see the student workers around campus? And so they're really helpful. They get training here on the job. They can assist us in our offices, in the classrooms, but we also have a contract for off campus as well. We have student workers that work at the city of Barstow, and so they get really great training outside of the community as well. So please make sure if you're seeing somebody within your classes and they're eligible for Cash Aid that they would come in and enroll on our program, because there are a lot of different opportunities on CalWorks. Also, our Access program is for students who have a verifiable disability. You're going to see a lot as faculty about Access this semester. Pending board approval, we are going to have a new full-time counselor, special programs, and her focus is going to be on the Access program. So please remember that in the classrooms, you do have to have closed captioning, but in the past, sometimes you would have to have, yes? Per month. It's per month. So closed captioning within the classroom, sometimes you would have to pay for that, or there were other free ways to get it done, but it wasn't as good captioning. So we have actually contracted with a company called Verbit. So if you have something that needs to be captioned within the classroom, please come and talk to our Access staff and we would be able to assist you with that. Also, this semester, something new, and you're going to be getting little bags with a t-shirt that we're all wearing, but you'll also get a schedule for our lunch and learns. So we are having, inviting faculty once a month to come and do a small training during your lunchtime on different subjects that have to do with our Access program that can help you within the classroom, working with our students with disabilities, reading our forums, understanding even how to do captioning. So it's going to be a lot of great information. I do hope you make a point to come to these lunch and learns. It's very important to assisting students with disabilities. Also, in October, we have a whole Disability Awareness Month, all kinds of things planned. Just really quickly, disability sensitivity training, which is very important, October 1st. October 8th, we're actually having Deaf Bingo, so that should be really fun. And October 29th, the Disability Activities Challenge. It's really a physical activity, so it should be fun. We're going to have it out in the amphitheater, so you'll be able to take part in all of these great activities that we have. Also, last week you did get an email from Penny about the accessibility, our disability disclaimer in your syllabus. It is required that you do have this in your syllabus. I've seen it where it's, some of them are very old, some of them don't have the right information. So please use the statement that we have sent out to you, because it is very important that everybody has the right information, so that if we have a student that does need our services, they will have the correct information on the offices and the phone numbers of where they need to go. Also, one of the great things that I was chosen to talk about was our Canvas pages. So if you have an online class, you do it through Canvas, but some of our departments have also created a Canvas shell and given all of the information about our different programs. Special Programs and Services has one, and each of our departments are listed there, and you can get information about our programs, our services, our requirements. And for Access specific, we do have our policies and procedures. So as a a faculty member, if you're not sure about what our AAP looks like, what is our policy for captioning, what is our policy for all different types of things that have to do with our programs, you can actually go online and find it. But we're not the only department that has it. So the transfer, career center, tutorial, they all have a page. So if you're looking for more information about all of those specific departments, it's right at your fingertips on Canvas. And the last thing I'm going to talk to you about is something that's really, really awesome that's happened this past semester. So, well, in the summer, we were planning through Student Services as a whole. We offer a lot of workshops for our students just on different types of topics to help them be a whole student, understand all kinds of things that has to do with their educational journey. But we also noticed that we were at times competing and doing the same workshops, and sometimes our students weren't understanding exactly they're going to this workshop when they really need this workshop, depending on what their goals are. So as a student services department, we had about 20 people come into our classrooms. We really just sat down and said, what are we going to do about this? And together, we a really collaborative efforts, we came up with a student success series that we're going to kick off in the fall. So these student success series is actually breaking up our workshops into 4 specific pathways. So our pathways are going to be the first year experience, student success, transfer, and career planning. So if you're in a special program, we're actually going to assign you a pathway for students, and the workshops that they're required to do have to be within their specific assigned pathway. It's going to be offered 6 times during the semester. Each day, we're going to have the same workshops offered twice during the day. And it's pretty much like breakout sessions. So at the lunch hour, 12:30 to 1:30, you're going to have 4 workshops that you can go to, one within your specific path. It's just going to be at different places around campus. So we really worked hard on these workshop topics. We have great presenters. We have counselors, staff, all types of people that are going to be doing those workshops. It's going to be exciting. So I really hope some of you are all invited. All students are invited to these workshops. But it's a really collaborative effort, something new that we're doing, and we're really excited about it. And I think that's all for me. Thank you. Y'all have a good day, okay?
So I think you're going to hear throughout the semester, not that sound, but well, you probably will, but the collaboration of academic and student services. And just from what Christina shared, you can absolutely see the supports to help you in the classroom. And you know now who to call or who to reference when you feel you need a support for a particular student that maybe you don't know how or why or what to do. We have a lot of support. You're just hearing just sort of the basics today because we don't want to overwhelm you, but you have very, very wonderful and experienced people to call who can help you design whatever it is we need to do to move our students forward together. Okay, so academic affairs in the instruction office, we have Penny Shreve, who I think was working till past midnight last night from the emails I was receiving. She works very hard to make sure that you have the courses to teach that you need to teach that will move our students forward, that you have the appropriate load, that we're not, that our facilities are accurate and ready to go, plus a lot more. So Penny, you want to come up and share? So, but thank you for all you do, Penny.
First, I'm going to take a moment and show off that I actually have a phone. That's not what I'm showing off. But that I made a few notes because as Sandy was talking about, wait a minute, our faculty did great things this summer and it's not listed here. We had a lot of people go to the Curriculum Institute. Curriculum Institute? Yeah. Learned a lot about AB 705. If you don't know it, you will. And all kinds of other things, multiple measures, and help me out here, Eduardo, something else that was super cool. ADTs, Rudy, something. Stackable certs. Okay. Tons of things. And someone's calling me. Sorry. You're more important. I just hung up on him. Don't worry. So we went to the Curriculum Institute. We had a lot of people who were part of the Bridge program this summer. That is changing a lot with AB 705, but Mr. Decay and I don't think we did the English one, but is doing Bridge for, is this a third or fourth year, Rudy? Third year of doing Bridge for math students transitioning into the semester. Also, if you didn't get a chance to go, we had a wonderful play by Christina Nelson, who was on the video this morning. That was last weekend. So our students are doing a lot of wonderful things during the summer too. Okay, syllabus. Most of this could be, you got an email already. So we sent email lots of syllabus information. Do not assume that your syllabus is accurate because no one's ever said anything. It's please check the checklist, make sure the policies haven't changed, and update it if it needs to be changed. We are going to get a new website. We're very excited about this. There's going to be a place for all the programs. So if you have ideas what you would like to have on a program website, let me know. We're talking about what's going to be on those pages. So it'd be nice to have some ideas. Send me emails, come see me, whatever. We have meeting handouts that we send out every semester. Those didn't go in email yet, but they will be handed out in a bag at the end of the day, and they will be sent in an email. This is when our standard meetings are, like Academic Senate, BCFA, other things that faculty, full-time and adjuncts may want to know about. And faculty coordinator positions, we have a couple from the contract that have been created that are new. We're going to be creating job descriptions and looking for people who are interested in taking on those responsibilities. Okay, before I leave, I want to take a moment and do this little, 360 with the head turn all the way around. Look around you, look around. I'm looking. Look around you all the way, back and forth. Do you see someone you don't recognize? Raise your hand if you see someone you do not recognize in the audience somewhere. Yeah, there should be, everybody should have new faces you don't recognize. Those are probably brand new hires, adjuncts who need friends. So say hi, make friends, make them, understand how great Barstow is. That's pretty much it. Thanks.
Okay, and now we'll hear from our Dean, Tim Botangan, on distance education.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new term. I'm part of the welcome crew. For those of you who don't know me, these lights are bright. Especially for the new faculty, I'm Tim Botangan, Dean of Distance Education and Learning Support Services. Those are kind of the two areas I oversee. I'd like to begin, first of all, with just giving a shout out to the institution, to our online staff, to our IT department, and especially to all the faculty who worked so hard. We are now fully integrated into a new learning management system. It's called Canvas. For those of you who are kind of new, we used to use Moodle. Now we're totally in Canvas. Good job. What that integration means is that our student information system, which is Banner, actually talks to Canvas. So all our, there's full integration between our online, our face-to-face, our hybrid classes into the Canvas platform. We now have a single sign-on system. So there's no more Moodle. And one of the things that we're looking forward to be doing in 2019 is doing a full grade integration. What that means is when you finish grading in Canvas and it's done, it integrates right into Banner. So hopefully that will save a lot of time, especially for the faculty. So we'll be working hard to get that done. Just kind of looking back, if you kind of look at the chart, in spring of 2017, the first 9 weeks, I believe that was the first time we had 12 online classes in Canvas. But for the full semester, we had 34 courses in Canvas. In this past spring, we had 172 courses in Canvas. In spring 2017, 1,300 files were uploaded. In spring 2018, 10,000 files were uploaded. In spring 2017, 23 media recordings were uploaded or were used. In spring 2018, 355. So I'm really happy that a lot of the faculty are using the media to enhance the courses in Canvas. And as I think Christina alluded to, we now have 5 Canvas service shells. so that our students, whether they come on campus or they're out in Arizona or New York, they have access to a lot of the services that we offer remotely as well. So we have 5 service shells as well. For training and support, I think last year we started training faculty on the use of Canvas. We offered 5 sessions in what we call Introduction to Teaching with Canvas. 90 faculty and staff have completed it successfully. I know some of you are here, I see your faces, so thank you for taking the course. We'll continue to offer this course every semester, and one of the new things that we'll be offering in 2019 is how to develop an online course. So it's not the teaching it, that we'll be offering a course in using some of the tools in Canvas to enhance your course. So you'll know how to develop a course, you'll know how to use all of the tools. Additionally, all throughout the semester, all throughout next year, we'll be having workshops, 1-2-hour workshops, because a lot of the faculty have been asking about, different tools or different things. And some of the most asked about tools or things that they want to learn was, using Confer Zoom, how do you do that? How do I record a lecture? So we'll have some workshops on that. How to use the Canvas rubrics tool. Those of you who hopefully all of you use rubrics in your class, but there's a rubrics. How many use the Canvas rubrics tool in Canvas for teaching? So if you look at the ones who are using it, isn't it great? Saves a lot of time. It really does. That's one of the things that we'll be offering as well. I know we'll be going to Illumin from Erkinet, and we'll be working a lot with outcomes. There's also an outcomes tool in Canvas, so we'll also be using that, and we'll be training you how to use it as soon as Illumin is kind of integrated as well. We've also created a small space in the library so that when we do have training, there's a space for faculty. It's a small room, so we can have 2 to 6, 2 to 7 people that we can come together and have a meeting or have some small training sessions as well. So we'll post the schedule of all the training sessions and workshops as soon as they're all kind of finalized. A little bit about Online Education Initiative. As you know, we are part of the 23 college consortium called Online Education Initiative. That consortium is now 56 colleges. 33 new colleges have been added, and these colleges are part of the consortium, and what they'll be working on is really to focus on online equity. So what they'll be talking about and discussing and piloting the different services and tools that focus on equity. The funding for OEI has been renewed for another 5 years, so there's money there. There's money to fund Canvas and all of the service tools that we use online. And one of the new things that happened this year too is that OEI is now CVC OEI. CVC, as you know or don't know, stands for the California Virtual Campus, which many years ago started off really as a catalog or a list of courses. Now it's going to be integrated into a system where any student can go into CVC OEI and be able not just to see the list of courses available, but have a process for actually enrolling into those courses, whether they're here at Barstow or anywhere else in the state. An update on our courses as far as our course exchange courses. We had a 4th course that was approved. It was Nance Newskill's course, Child 14. So kudos to her. We now have 4 courses. Approved for OEI, what that means is it goes into a repository of courses where eventually anybody in the state can take it very seamlessly. So whether they're in South Lake Tahoe or in Sacramento, they'll be able to take these courses as well. So I know Penny talked a little bit about conferences in June. I think some of the faculty members and the staff went to a conference in June. It was called Online Teaching Conference. Who went? I know Don went. Denise went. It was a great conference. And one of the things that they did was they actually recognized the faculty in the schools that have courses in OEI. So they presented pins. I know Nance wasn't there. So Nance, I have your pin. I'll give that to you. And then Michelle, great hand. Michelle Bishiers is also the other instructor. She's not in Arizona, so she's probably not here, but I'll be sending this to her as well. The other area that I kind of oversee is learning support services. If you don't already know, we've moved tutoring into the Learning Resource Center. So we're able to take walk-ins, and we're also able to take your referrals through Starfish. I think Melissa will be talking a little bit about Starfish, but it's a referral system where you can send referrals. For example, if somebody needs tutoring, you send it out. Our staff will be able to get it. And what we'll do is we'll reach out to these students. We'll call them, we'll email them however way we can. And then whatever happens, if we can't reach them, or if we reach them and they come and they get tutoring, we close the flag or we close the loop so that you as faculty will know that we are doing something with these students so that you're not left in the dark. So this is going to be an ongoing process. Some of you have been trained on Starfish. Hopefully the rest of you will throughout the semester. We'll be placing the tutors in the Solarium and also in the Computer Commons so that there's, we'll be able to handle as many students as you can send. Also, we'll be scheduling workshop and study halls for our students. We'll be reaching out to them individually and as in student groups as well. One of the things that we're doing new this semester is collaborating with Brian King over there. And the rest of our coaches. We're starting a student-athlete academic success program. We had about 70, 80 plus student athletes yesterday. They came into the LRC. We showed them the computers. We showed them the tutoring program. We showed them how to log in. We showed them how to navigate through the Canvas courses. And we just made them feel that they can come to us anytime if they need help. I assigned one of our staff to actually kind of be the lead person for our student athletes. We are also exploring the extension of hours, both in the library and in the Learning Resource Center. We're a little bit understaffed, but we know that a lot of our students need access to the computers, to internet, to Wi-Fi, to printing and things. We do have evening classes, and hopefully we can work our schedule so that we can extend our hours. And finally, we'll be working on reconfiguring the Computer Commons area. We want to make it more learning, more conducive to learning. So there'll be some changes. Hopefully, it'll happen by the end of the semester. So keep on the lookout for that. And I think that's it. Thank you.
Anybody have questions for Tim? Lots of good stuff. Again, you have been the ones driving it with Tim's guidance, so congratulations on all of that work. Okay, Student Life. So Joanne Garcia, who is our Director of Student Life, is in San Francisco, I believe, with some of our students at a student leadership conference, which is why she's not here this morning. So very briefly, we're going to go over some exciting things that are happening within the Student Life area. You can see from the slide about the student, what do we call it here? Not the student body card, the ASG card? ASG card. So the ASG card is only $10, and one of the added features this year is that we have a partnership with VVTA, Victor Valley Transit Authority, and they will be providing free transportation to students and staff who have the card, and you can get on the bus and get on any of their routes for a year for free, as long as you have the student card. So that if you want to utilize that service, you'll need to spend $10 for a card, and then you'll have it to show too. Now, the bus is going to be on campus next week, and you'll hear more about that. And you'll be able to pick up information on routes, bus lines, and so forth. Then the next phase of this VVTA program is they're asking, do we want to do van ride shares for faculty and so forth. So as we move forward through the year, there might be other opportunity for us to help our environment, help your pocketbook, and make friends as we go forward with VVTA. Okay, so next slide, please. Thank you. Oh. This is super exciting. So I talked to Joanne a lot before I actually left at the end of May, and then I came back in July. But before I left, I said, I'm hearing from faculty that ASG is becoming irrelevant. They don't want to be club sponsors. It's too much of a hassle. They don't understand. It's not servicing their students. Here's what we should probably be doing. So we worked together to develop a student volunteer program called the Viking Volunteers. So this provides the opportunity for any one of our students. They do not have to be an ASG officer. They don't have to be in a current club. Any one of our students can be earning volunteer service hours. And if they earn 30 in one semester, it will go on their transcripts. So this opens up a whole host of opportunities for our students and for you as faculty. So I was talking to Nance sometime in the summer, and she is interested in a future teachers club. She'd like to get them into classrooms where they could see, do I really want to be a teacher, and start gaining some internship type of experience. So the Viking Volunteer Program can help with that. We have methods and means to help pay for fingerprinting. And then students can be volunteering in classrooms, gaining that experience, and also having that recorded on their transcripts. So the possibilities for this program are just boundless and endless, and they will help support the Guided Pathways effort as we are putting students out in Barstow in different kinds of unpaid internships. They will be our best outreach because they will be out in our community as our students. They are basically going to be able to enhance what you're teaching them in the classroom with hands-on experience and have that recorded on their transcript. So it's a very exciting program. We'll be talking more about it, but I wanted you to be introduced to it today because this changes the game for our student body and for you and what you can do with students in your classroom and outside of your classroom. Thank you. And then Joanne is so creative. She started brainstorming different kinds of clubs just to give you ideas, like what other kind of clubs besides the traditional clubs that we've had on campus could we have? And honestly, this is just a start for her brainstorming. But if there's a kind of a club that we haven't had on campus that you're interested in, and you want students to have the opportunity to be in a group and have an identity as a club, just let Joanne know. So this, by all means, is not an exclusive list and there is no other possibilities. Really, whatever it is that you feel our students need, and or we can find a sponsor for that club, we want to do it because I've heard over and over, we need more student life outside of just our ASG leaders and a few others. We need more student life. So between the volunteer program and enhanced club offerings, I think we can turn the student life program, I would say, on its ear and move it further forward because we have a very good program, but we'll move it forward in ways that help the Guided Pathways effort, okay? And finally, I'm going to bring up Melissa Meadows, who works, she directs the Barstow College Promise. She works with our counselors. Her title is long. She works in equity. And honestly, I've never met anybody who can handle what Melissa Meadows handles. She's a wonderful person and an excellent resource for all of you for everything Barstow Community College. Melissa.
Short one of the group, so I can tell this down. So I kind of wanted to give everybody a little update about Barstow College Promise. We are actually in our second year. That first year, we did have a very good retention rate coming back. We're still kind of figuring out the numbers with Lisa back there, so we'll have more data going forward after the school year starts. Last year, our first cohort was actually only from the unified school districts. This year, we opened up the cohort to any student who graduates from any school that lives in the Barstow Community College service area. So that actually broadened it to a whole bunch of students. We also multiple measured this cohort coming in. So a lot of them placed much higher into different math and English courses. So you're going to see them more in your English 1A and English 50X courses. And the higher level maths, the 55, and actually it was great because based on the track that they're going or their pathway, we were actually able to tailor which math courses they should be taking. A lot of our students were either taking stats or college level math,
but we do have the other set that are taking the 1 and 4 track. So that really increased the numbers in those classes also. We actually increased the book voucher. We kind of believe, like Christina does, that textbooks are very important to our students, and the $100 and $200 that they were getting wasn't enough to cover their textbooks. So in the spring, we upped it to $350 to $450 depending on their circumstance, and we will continue that going forward through this year. So far, for the 18-19 cohort, we have 175 students, but students just pop up all of a sudden. They were at the high schools and they applied and they did all their matriculation steps, and we registered them for classes before they left for school, and then they do nothing all summer. They don't answer our emails, they don't answer our phone calls. We know this of our students, some of them. So if they happen to drop into your class and they're incoming freshmen and they don't have any textbooks, and you ask them, hey, did you graduate from any high school in the area and this past 17-18 school year, and they say, yeah, and they're like, do you know about Barstow College Promise? And they go, no, can you please send them our way? Because we were more than happy to take them on at the last minute and make sure that they have all of the steps that they need and the supplies that they need to make sure they're successful in class. Next, I kind of want to introduce, let's see, who's here? Who are all of our pilot teachers and instructors? Yes, raise your hands very high. Yay! We're introducing Starfish Early Alert. I would like to thank every single one of you for jumping on board and helping us through all of the growing pains that we had getting us up and going. And I really appreciate it, and the whole staff appreciates it. Samara's a godsend. Emily Garrison's a godsend. They work through anything and everything that needs to be worked through when we were introducing this program out to the faculty. Well, we're glad to say that we're actually at a place where we can push it out to every single faculty member on campus, okay? So, I would like to also say that we have some advocates for Starfish Early Alert. So if you see them coming, don't go running, okay? We have Emily Garrison, Dawn Howley, and Denise Pasley. They actually went to Hobson Summer Institute with us, and they learned all about the wonderful things that this program can do, not only for the faculty and the staff, but especially our students and what they can gain from it going forward. So some key benefits is it's actually going to help us with our retention and our completion initiatives. We're all into what Dr. Bagg said this morning, that some of those funding models, they're changing. So this is going to help us get the information that we need and actually help students along through their pathway. If you have any concerns, you can actually raise flags at any time through Starfish, and on the other end, we're going to get those flags. Counselors are going to get those flags. Staff members are going to get those flags. Different departments are going to get those flags and referrals, okay? And then there's a whole closing the loop process. You're going to know that we contacted those students. You're going to know what the outcome was of that intervention. And if we don't get a hold of them, they're in your classes. We're going to let you know that we weren't able to get a hold of them, and you're going to be able to tell them, hey, it's time for us to have a little conversation. Let's go ahead and make sure you get the services you need so you can be somebody that we see walking across the stage during graduation. Okay. You can also provide positive reinforcements through kudos. We built you a couple of kudos in there that you can send to students and let them know. So what we're asking faculty to do this semester is notify your class that you'll be using Starfish. It's there, it's available for them. On their single sign-on page, they have a little tile, and it's for Starfish. All of our students have access to it, along with all of the faculty members. It's already there for you and ready for you to jump right on it. Raise flags, send referrals, give kudos. We want everybody involved. Submit progress surveys when they're available. It's really simple. You're going to get an email, okay? It's going to come directly from Starfish, and then all you have to do is open it up, click some buttons, send it on its way. It's not hard at all. And always, if you can, include specific and next steps for students when it's warranted. That'll help a lot of people on our end that know exactly what the student's going to need. So our flags. And I want to thank everybody that comes to our meetings that we have for Starfish and getting us up and going, because they're the ones, along with the pilot instructors, that helped us tailor down what these flags and kudos are. We have academic concerns, academic dishonesty, any conduct concerns that you might have for students. If they're below 12 units, the system's gonna automatically raise a flag for us. That kind of helps Brian and Christina know that their students aren't taking the number of units that they should be in certain programs that require that. If a student has 3 flags or more, there's an automatic flag that's gonna be raised, and those are students that we pretty much said, there's something going on, we need to bring them in, okay? And keep up the good work. Those are your kudos. Keep up the good work, either academic or non-academic, and faculty can tailor their own messages to those students. In the discussions that we had, we found a need that we actually need more referrals than what we originally planned on. So we have referrals to pretty much any department out there. Admissions and records, basic needs is for our food pantry. If students need any type of items from the food pantry or personal care items that are there. There's counseling services, financial aid. If they're a foster youth student, a lot of times they don't identify with us, but those are things you're gonna hear in the classroom. You don't even have to tell the student, you just raise that flag and somebody on the other end will make contact. They're homeless. If they need learning support services, they need help with library and research, if they need online class support. If they're, like Christina said, refer your students to any type of special programs or actually access, you can raise those flags. Transfer services, if they told you, you know, I have about 30 or 45 units, I don't know what quite the next step is. Aaliyah, she knows it all. Send them to her. Tutoring and actually for veterans. And then this can always change as we go forward. You know, feedback from the faculty and the staff will continue our efforts in making sure this is a wonderful program for everybody to use. Question? Yes.
Hi, so if we catch student cheating, do we do the Starfish? Do we still send an email to Penny?
No, you're gonna do Starfish. Okay. Penny will get it. Those flags go to Penny. Yes. Or Sandy, depending on what course it is. Yes.
Is there a way to
Yes. Am I right? Yes. I think there's a place to put the comments, and then you just send everything to Penny so she knows.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
What if there is a student who's not your student, but you know they're homeless or something? Is there a way to use Starfish for that, or do you need it?
No, you can use Starfish for that.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because all the students are loaded.
All the students are loaded in. Yes. So you just don't see information for your course. You should see information for your course, but then you also should have access to all students. Yeah. For those types of concerns. Any other questions?
Yeah, and that's not, you don't have access to like raise other concerns for everybody, just know that, like you have your, like there's only certain things that you have access to for the whole population.
Yeah.
Don't think that we're like giving you free reign for.
No, that was my question, and not my student here, just some student I know.
Yeah, but
for those type of things like referrals and stuff like that, you are able to raise those on all students. Yes. Okay.
Can I just say too that with the plagiarism comment, like I feel like you have a little bit more, you'll be more in the loop. So you'll find out what happens with that student and you'll get some, you'll just be a little bit more.
Yes. So we are scheduling training for the second and third week of the semester. You should be on the lookout for a training schedule. We're going to have smaller training groups. Samara is going to be working with Emily and a few other people to have that either one-on-one or maybe 3 or 4 people at a time training on Starfish, so you know how to navigate the system and what you have access to. If you don't have access to something and you think you need it, bring it up, let her know. We can always make adjustments to what's going on and actually talk to the team to see if that's something that we want to do across the board. Okay. And you can explore Starfish right now on your own. As I said, it's on your single sign-on page, and you can go ahead and click on there and start navigating and looking around and poking around and making sure it works for you. Okay. So don't have a drum roll, but through a lot of talking and collaboration, thank you, a lot of talking and collaboration with a whole bunch of people on campus. What do we have, like 20, 25 people in that meeting? Oh my gosh. A lot of concerns came up. Students do not actually know what they're supposed to be doing. They don't know. They don't know they have student email. They don't know how to navigate Canvas and they take online classes. They don't know where places are on campus. We make them do orientation. We provide them orientation and live orientation for incoming high school students, and they are still lost the instant that they get here. So after having a lot of discussion, we came together and we said, wow, it's that bad. Let's turn that into a positive. So now we have, wow, Week of Welcome. So Barstow Community College is going to be hosting Week of Welcome next week. There are different events going on all day that are tailored to our students and their needs. We're just asking faculty members, bring your students out, let them know what's going on, come with them, get to know everything that's on campus. If you don't know, if you're new here, or even if you've been here for years, a lot of things have changed. There's new programs, there's new things going on, things just, you never know what happens over the summer, especially in student services and academic affairs. We do a lot of work. So we're gonna start off with a welcome tent. It's gonna be available all day long. We're gonna have people from instruction and from student services actually greeting students as they come in, helping them find your classrooms, making sure that they know where they're supposed to be and what time they're supposed to be there. There's gonna be free breakfast for everybody. ASG is hosting breakfast. It'll be up there at the walkway. Students are gonna be able to pick up t-shirts. You're getting yours today. Woohoo, everybody gets a t-shirt. T-shirts. T-shirts. They say welcome crew on the back for all of y'all, okay? Abby is gonna be hosting our morning wake up workout. Woohoo! So get energized for the day, every single day that week. On Monday, we're having a resource fair and pizza party. So a lot of people are gonna be out. We're gonna have tables about different things and programs on campus. As Karen mentioned, BBTA is gonna be out. They're gonna bring a bus up. They're gonna have hot dogs, snow cones, be passing out, bus schedules, route schedules, things like that information. There are gonna be tons of goodies and giveaways for everybody. Tuesday, we're gonna have the welcome tent all over again. Breakfast is gonna be there. Morning wake up with Oppie. We're gonna do department scavenger hunts so students can know where they're supposed to go when they have questions. So that's gonna take place and there's gonna be free lunch for that. And then we're gonna host some of those mini workshops in the afternoon. Like what Tim was talking about, we had athletics in the area yesterday, and we were actually able to get them information about how to access the portal, how to access their online classes, what 365 offers them. There's a whole range of things. We even were able to get all the athletes an application for CalFresh. So that was great. So yeah, every single one of them did an application yesterday for CalFresh. Let's see. And then we move on to Wednesday and Thursday, a lot of the same things with our morning wake up with Aki, 10 years. Okay. We're actually gonna host the mini workshops and free lunch, which will take place. We're trying to make sure we capture the evening students and the day students at the same time. And then we're also gonna have an event out at Fort Irwin that afternoon. We gotta make sure we cover all of our bases and get all of our students. That's our goal. Thursday is going to be our transfer day. So Thursday, we're asking faculty, can you please wear your alumni shirts? We want to know where you went to school. We want students to know that there's more than Barstow Community College. Be proud of where you went to school, okay? We have this whole project that we're going to work on this year, Transfer from Day One. So we're going to have Transfer 101 for our students, give them some information about the transfer process, and then Leah has put together a mini transfer fair and free lunch for all our students. And then trying to reach all those students, we're going to be out at Sandy's area, and we're going to have a welcome event over at CTE. Okay. So any questions about Wow Week? No. We hope to see everybody there. Woohoo! Wow! And if we want to model our t-shirts again, everybody gets a t-shirt. Everybody's also getting a bag of goodies and information about a lot of the things on the slide. All those different programs that were talked about throughout the day, even some of the ones that Lauren mentioned with BRASS and academic probation, there's marketing material for all of them. So you kind of have an understanding of what those areas are and when you start raising referrals for them. So all of that information is in a goodie bag that you're gonna get going out the door when you leave today. And then there'll also be a table set up so you can pick up your Wow t-shirts. Thank you. Any questions for anybody up here?
Can we give this group a big round of applause? So a lot of good stuff happening at Barstow. So where do I get my bag, Melissa, of all the goodies? At lunchtime? Oh, they're already there. Yes. Okay. I just want to make sure we all know where we're getting our goodies and our t-shirts, right? Right? Okay. Okay. Thank you to this group. Okay. Okay. Program review is our next topic. Dun, dun, dun. And we're going to have Beverly Randy and Lisa Holmes come up. We are a talkative group, so we've run a little bit over schedule. So now we're going to speed it up and talk briefly about these items that we can talk more in detail about today, later, or at our August 30th first division meeting. So these are your co-chairs of program review, and Lisa is an integral part of that committee. So here's what we're going to tell you today. We will not be turning in a written program review this fall. I was waiting for that. Okay. However, we will be talking about program review probably more than ever. And we're at the point where there has been so much good work done by all of you in program review. Boy, that changes the game with the line. But what we're noticing and what I've been hearing is that there's some confusion regarding what do I put in my program review if I'm asking for resources, what do I not put in? And then if I do a BAP, which is foreign language to me, but if I do a BAP, where does it go? How does it go? Now, there is a written process that sounds really good. There's been a lot of good work done in developing a process, but somehow the wheels have fallen off the cart and we need to put it all back together. So the goal will be to deconstruct our program review process as well as what goes into a program review. We want the process to be very transparent. We want you to have fully empowered knowledge of the fact that when you spend time and you do writing really good program reviews, that it's actually going somewhere and it means something. And in this year, while we're working on the new strategic plan for the college, the program review is more important than ever. The program review should be an enlightening and fun experience for you in your area because you're documenting where you've been, where you are, and goals moving forward. And funding should support what you're saying you want to do. And Lisa's been working this summer and developing some new methods, which you'll hear about later, of analyzing our data, reading our data, and applying our data in ways that maybe we haven't been before that will make this a more meaningful process. But I am an advocate for only doing work that actually means something. And I started hearing that we only had like maybe 5 BAPs put forward last year. And I've heard from people, I think the process means that when you're asking for money, you get it 2 years from now, you get it 1 year from now. So there's a lot of confusion. So we'll be deconstructing the process, taking what's good that you've already developed, tweaking what we need to, and moving it forward. So we'll be talking a lot about it this fall, but not actually trying to submit something until we really know what we're doing. Good? Yeah. Any other comments? Yeah. Thank these ladies because they brought forward all your concerns so that we could make this decision, but we'll be talking about it a lot, okay? Okay, thank you so much. All right, now we're going to move on to another question that you've asked a lot about. And some of your Starfish questions address that, and that's discipline and Title IX issues. So, Brian King, did he go somewhere? Oh, okay. So Brian King, our Dean of Students and Athletics, is going to talk to you about student discipline. Brian?
Thank you. So, just so you guys understand the process a little better and how you can help the process, the more detailed, the more descriptive your complaint is, the easier it makes everything go. So let me give you an example. So You send me an email, you say, hey, Johnny's being disruptive in my class. So when I get Johnny in my office and I say, hey, Johnny, are you being disruptive in class? Johnny says, no, I don't have a whole lot of room to go from there. So the more detail you can put in there, he said this after I said this. He did it on this day. It was during this class. He didn't show up to the class previously. The more detail you can put in there, it's really going to help when it's time to sit down with Johnny to talk about, hey, what's going on in this class. So the other pieces, like I said, just detailing everything you can, and then follow up with me. I want to know, once we've returned that person to class, are we better? Are we in a better place now? Are the issues continuing? All of these things help. And then the other thing is making sure you understand the student code of conduct, so you know what isn't permissible, what things fit into what category. And then, understanding also that your interventions can help, hopefully keep me out of it. So you have the right to remove someone from class. If they are being disruptive, if they are interfering with the educational process, you have the right as the instructor of that class to get them out of there. You can get them out of that class and then bring me in and we can start working together. But just want to let you guys know, I need your help as much as you need my help in these situations. So the more information you can provide, always better. That's all I got.
Any questions on that? Okay, then you asked about Title IX, and so our Associate Vice President of Human Resource, I'm sorry, Nance. Good. At what point will you hear back that we have contacted the student? So Brian is really good about summarizing the disciplinary process.
So I try to contact them immediately. Now, again, I'm dealing with humans, so what typically happens is when the Dean of Students calls you, you don't call them back right away. When the Dean of Students emails you and says, hey, I'd like to bring you in and have a conversation with you, there's not great response. So as soon as I get it from you, I am reaching out immediately. Now, whether or not I've spoke to them immediately, that's another story. But go ahead. Absolutely. So once I've made contact with that student, once I've been able to sit down, depending on what it is, 90% of the time we have a conversation, we talk, we go over what the expectations are in a classroom, and then that's typically the intervention, and usually that's all we need. And I will communicate that to you. Hey, I talked to Johnny. Johnny said this was a concern of Johnny's. We went over this. If there's anything above and beyond that, we'll communicate that to you as well and say, hey, we've made a decision, Johnny's going to be removed from class or whatever it is. That answer your question? Thanks.
Thanks for those questions. And again, this is just an overview, so you know who Brian is, because a lot of times you ask, who am I supposed to call? If we need to have follow-up sessions on your rights as the instructor with students in your classroom and student discipline, certainly we'll do that. So just let us know, okay? All right, so then you asked about Title IX, and so I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Engeldinger.
I have the distinctive impression I'm standing between you and lunch. And I know you're worried about this. At least I would be. All right, so I've been an adjunct there's a reason, an adjunct in community college for 14 years. I taught night classes, business, California history, taught a class on the history of unions in the United States. I love history of areas. I've studied Barstow and the lake out here, 90 square miles. The shore lapped up very close to where we're standing. the indigenous people that lived here, the Spanish who walked through here, John C. Fremont who came through here, not to mention the railroads, et cetera, et cetera. You would think they would assign a topic to me today, something that would be interesting and uplifting, but no, I get the class of a discussion about sexual harassment. Now, this is a very, very important subject. I've been in this business of human resources for the better part of 45 years, 27 in the private sector, 14 here in community colleges. It's a horrible subject. It's an outrageous act. It is something that is pervasive. I hate to say that, but it is. Pasadena City College, all kinds of issues. I probably had 30 cases going on at one time. It's just absolutely horrible. Fortunately, we don't have that here, so we want to keep it that way. We'll just go over Title IX as it applies to sexual harassment just for a second, and then talk about. Basically, what we want to talk about is what you do if somebody complains to you about sexual harassment, what the processes are. So that's what we're here to talk about. The U.S. Department of Education Office of Civil Rights enforces, among other statutes, Title IX of the Education Amendments of 1972. Title IX protects people from discrimination based on sex in education programs or activities that receive federal financing assistance. Title IX is a very short title, actually. It reads, "No person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or subjected to discrimination under any education program or activities receiving federal financial assistance." That's the statute. From this statute flows many protections for the individual, including students and employees of community colleges. Some key issue areas in which recipients have Title IX obligations and protections are recruitment, admissions, counseling, financial assistance, athletics, employment issues that deal with who's hired, how they're hired. All that is covered under Title IX. It's a definition of sexual harassment includes unwanted sexual behavior, advances or requests for favor, unwelcome verbal, visual, or physical sexual contact. When the Supreme Court of the United States was asked to define sexual harassment, the response was rather flippant. They said that we can't define it, but we know when we see it. It is a pervasive activity that takes many forms. It's hard to define it, but these are some of the ways to look at it. Offensive, severe, and/or frequent remarks about a person's sex, harassment of sexual nature which interferes with an individual's right to an education and participation in programs or activities. Examples include stalking or obscene phone calls, texts, emails, or gestures, sexually suggested jokes, whistles, I can't whistle, so, catcalls or innuendos, inappropriate touching, intimidation, sexual abuse or assault, battery, or coercion. It's as I said earlier, it's a pervasive issue. It's very, very serious. So if somebody comes to you, and over the years, I should say, every one of those things I just outlined for you, I've personally witnessed, I've investigated. Lots of people lost their jobs over this subject. So if someone comes to you, that's a student who reports to you that another student is sexually harassing, that's not something that HR investigates. That's going to go to Aaron or the dean. If it's a faculty member who's being alleged to have sexually harassed a student, that comes to HR. That's an employee, and HR deals with that. But to student, again, any issue that doesn't involve an employee, And it does not come to HR. Otherwise, bring it to HR. Please don't investigate it yourself. When you hear about it, immediately bring it to one of us. Any questions about this? So that's going to come to Karen and myself both. We're going to together look at that. And that I've actually seen the case, involved in a case of that at Ohlone College. It's infrequent, but it does occur. I think it's something in the handbook.
If it's a student worker that's involved, we go to Karen or you?
I think both of us are going to look at that because the student worker, by definition, is an employee of the college. So there's an employment contract there that would bring us into that process.
If a student shares something with you about a faculty member, but they don't want to report it, what is my,
Very common. That's very common in sexual harassment claims. So I want to tell you about something that's very offensive to me, but I don't want anything done about it. As soon as you hear about it, we have an obligation to investigate it. And I understand that might be a hard concept to deal with, but as soon as we learn something, we need to hear about it, and we need to deal with it. That's a very, very common issue, though, where somebody has feels they've been sexually harassed. They want to tell somebody. It's very natural. They want to tell somebody, but I don't want anything to happen. There's an obligation for us to read that. What about a contractor that comes on college and starts harassing somebody? What do you think about that? That happens too. It would. Absolutely. Sure, please.
So to answer also, know or should have known is language that I want you to have in your head at all times. If I knew or should have known, if the college knows or should have known, it's our obligation to report. So while it's very sensitive, and that's why we'll work with you in a very sensitive way on this and handle it very sensitively, your obligation is to report. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions? Okay, we have one more thing. Can someone tell me the time? Because okay, so we're running a few minutes over, so we have one more segment. First of all, let's thank VP Engelmeyer for that. That's a lot of information. Again, if you feel you need more information on that, which clearly it's a topic we all need to know more about, we can do a workshop on that. And we'll end this segment with campus safety. Dr. Brenda Finley and Rick Hernandez. Now, we are dismissing Senate a little bit early, so because we want you to have lunch before everybody else. So if you'd like to go now, there's like 6, 7 of you. If you'd like to go now, then we'll catch you up on what was said in this segment, okay?
Right here. Right here.
Really quick. Casey is senator. We really are the ones between you.
Huh? Do you need a login?
Whole room locked. Oh, good. Thank you very much. Okay.
Right now. Yeah, there.
It's going to be really quick, but really informative. It'll be great. It'll be great.
There we go. Oh, yeah. That's it. Yeah, slideshow. You want a different one?
Yeah, this is the previous one.
Thank you. All right, campus safety. Yeah, here. We're going to share this mic as best we can. Here. So recognizing that time is of the essence here, but still, this is a really important topic, and we wanted to take a few minutes and talk about campus safety, the fact that it is on our radar, that we've had some evaluations performed for us, that we have identified some things that we're going to be working on this year, and to tell you all about that. First thing is, how do we contact you in the event of an emergency? It's really easy. First of all, we're going to send out an email to everybody, but it's right there on the webpage. All you have to do is just go to the main webpage, which you'll notice Beverly Branding is right there. Yeah. But all you have to do is just click on that Viking alert, sign up for it, put in your cell phone number, and you'll get an alert every time there's any information on campus that needs to be shared. You'll also get an email, but that is a way for you to be right there at the front edge of that information being conveyed.
And really quick, please encourage your students as well to sign up. This is the main mode of communication for any emergency, power shutdown, campus closure, anything like that. This is the main point of communication.
Right. And then as far as how you can contact the campus, if in the event that you have an emergency, there are some phone numbers here, and anticipation that you might not remember them, or maybe it wouldn't be the easiest thing to look up. On the handrails on the way out on both sides, there are some sheets of paper, and it has exactly this information. You can pick one up on your way out, no matter which way you head out. You'll see them there on the end cap.
I feel like the person that goes like, yeah. But anyway, really quick, the security number up there, that's really as we're trying to make sure that the campus radio, when you make the phone call to that number, that it is security and that it works like a two-way radio. So you're on the phone, we're on the radio answering your call. But you can step on each other if you're trying to talk, so it does get a hold of us on an emergency basis. Anything else, cleanups, emergencies like cleanup repairs, things like that, please call the M&O office and we can track that call, track it, do an M&O work order, and then go throughout the radio process with that.
Right. So in other words, the campus radio is really not supposed to be for work orders. It's really supposed to be for security, safety type of issues. So this is the emergency response plan, and you should find one pretty much in any location that you are on campus.
Right. For any reason you don't have one that's exiting your office and your classroom, please email us. We'll get one right away to you. The custodians usually check for that. I left a couple of copies on each side of the banister along with those phone numbers right next to them. You guys want to grab a copy to take with you? Really good reading.
Right, and there's just all kinds of information. You can kind of get an idea from the picture here. So our campus safety assessment that we just referred to a minute ago, some of the recommendations, the top recommendations were that we improve the door locking system across campus.
You guys have seen the magnetic strip that we have and the red button strip for the panic bars. Please note that those are there. Really quick, the magnet is to put over a locked door. Your door is locked, but it obviously bars it from engaging. An emergency happens, door is locked, it's not ajar. You jar it, pull the strip out, door closet pulls behind you, it locks. Sorry, locked. Panic bar is you pull the strip, panic bar is already locked, so engage again in a locked position. That is what we're trying to do right now to make sure that we get immediate resolvement for a situation like this, and then we're going to add the window coverings and
right, and looking at window coverings, just so that you have the ability to obscure in the event that somebody was trying to do something untoward, and you don't want them to be able to look into your classroom windows or office windows, and so we're looking into that. Emergency generators are also something that was recommended, and we are pricing those out right now. Regular campus community training, and that's going to be on the next screen here. And the large screens in student services building, we already have 2, so we've already made some progress on that. Our planned safety projects for this year are the new door locking system, to go ahead and install those window coverings, and to install 2 emergency generators on campus that will keep our network up, it'll keep our communications up.
And once again, we're going to have the great shakeout, participate as the whole college. We're going to do, if you guys have participated, we did a whole evac situation. This is on 10-10-10 at 10-10. Did I see a bunch of 10s in there? This is on 10 and at 10-10.
Right, October 10th at 10:10 a.m.
Yeah, so great shakeout. Once again, we're gonna coordinate with also for the active shooter training with Barstow PD. Once again, that's training for us as well as them, so they get familiar with our facilities, and if they're, God forbid, an emergency, that they are familiar with all the buildings and how to react.
And then also, we're gonna be putting some emphasis on making sure that we've clearly identified who building marshals are, the building coordinator type person, and a backup for that person, so that everybody knows who the go-to person is in the event of an emergency, and they understand what their responsibilities are in terms of conveying information, making sure people have made it safely out of the building, counting heads, trying to account for the whereabouts of everyone. So really, that's the really Cliff Notes version, but we're both available. If you have other questions, and we do have the handouts for you, you can email me. It's just bfendley@, or if you have any questions now. Yes.
Is there plans to get a security guard on campus?
We do have a security guard right now, but the security guard patrols from 3 to 11. And that is one of the topics of conversation is during the day. Right now, the M&O department operates kind of in that capacity, but we are exploring that as far as daytime particularly.
And that's why I'm trying to distinguish that number that I was telling you about, that when we get phone calls of that, our brains almost go to security mode. We're getting a call, they drop everything. The guys are working on situations they can't just leave and take care of, I want to say quasi need really quick, because they don't have things unlocked, they have schools out. But for security or emergency situation, we're dropping everything.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, for the most part, it's for the evening, after the daytime, kind of security.
A uniformed security officer? Yes. Currently right now.
Yes.
Currently
Right now we have a contracted service. Okay.
Any other questions? So again, just like with all the topics, if you feel like you want more in-depth information, we'll arrange some sort of a workshop or talk at the best practices or division meetings, and or something additional depending on your level of interest. Okay? All right, so can we thank Dr. Finley and Hernandez, please? So, Avi, you guys have been sitting for a good hour and a half. As we stand up, is there a stretch we should do to go to lunch? Like the lunch stretch, can you demonstrate that?